Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Shadow and Sun Show, and welcome back for another Saturday night sci-fi Shadow Chat. As you can see in the title, it's the free for all. It's the end of the month, so we don't have a topic. We don't even have any guests in the green room. Where are you guys? So we're just going to take it as it comes. Kick back, chat. I'm going to do a little dry brushing as I get ready for mini war mutts go in the distance painting challenge. I've got about 60 minis here on my table that have all been primered. They just need a little, well, they need everything else basically. But I'm allowed to Zenithal highlight before the challenge, but I mean, that's only a couple of hours away, 5.5 hours technically, if I want to jump the gun and be on it, at midnight, which trust me, I won't be doing. But I will be giving all of these a zenithal highlight with some cold white from Vallejo or some matte white or regular white. I might even do some ivory on a couple of them. Uh, but mostly excuse me, big dinner tonight, folks. No worries, Justin. No worries at all. I will be doing mostly Star Stock minis, although I do have, I think, three Reaper minis. I've got this one. Shh, don't tell Jackie. But I'll be painting the Thunderforged Titan from the Shadows of Brimstone Vikings section. What was it called? The Warlord Kickstarter. I put this one together and already did the Zenithal way back, and I told Jackie he could paint it. But I found another one online for like half price. Come on up here, buddy. Say hello to everybody. Here's my faithful dog, Chewy, who's being a weirdo as always, as most dogs are. Uh, Leaf flies by the house and he goes wild. But yeah, mostly Star Stock, and I'll show those off to you as I go through them. So some of them you might be able to actually see what they are once they're zenithal. If I show you a miniature like this, it's really hard to tell what it is. But I've got, I think, about 60. Then I also have, oh, there he is. There's my cohort in crime, Justin. How you doing, brother?
Ooh.
So
I am
black
a
and white,
floating
just like my
head.
minis will be in just a moment. I also have some minis that I picked up from an eBayer who does 3D prints, uh, and I decided I'd finally give these a go as well. Some of them not quite safe for work, but you know, uh, tough. Well, that one,
Boobs are good.
what?
Boobs are good.
There are some there is some cleavage here. One of them's a full nude with a sword. Um, Actually, only one or two. And this one, I don't think technically is not safe for work, but that one definitely not safe for work. But um, that's what I'm going to be doing. What are you up to, Justin?
I was thinking about our game. I wrote a section on game loop thing that I put in the thing earlier.
I did not get a
Uh,
chance to see it. I saw that you had sent me something telling me to delete everything, and I'm like, what? No, we're not
no, no,
deleting.
no. Just what I had written before the
Okay, I
concept
was like,
stuff.
what are you
Because
talking about?
yeah,
What are you
yeah.
talking about? I was like,
I told you the stuff that I'd written initially. That was like concept stuff.
uh-huh.
Rifle through what you like and get rid of the rest.
Okay.
Because like we've moved past a lot of the things we were talking about back then.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Uh, so if it doesn't need to be cluttering the document,
Right. Or I could just push it all the way down to the end if that's possible.
yeah.
Uh, yeah,
So
after reading, I read your story last night, and after reading it, I'm going to probably not scrap what I wrote, but just go over it with a completely different focus. Because I just uh, I got a little not necessarily inspiration from what you're doing, but how you're doing it, so that I could make what I did more of a story and less of an outline. Because despite its length, it seems more outliney, and I need to add some actual characters with names besides the captain and the main hero, if you will.
Yeah, I usually start with that.
And
Or I ask the robot to give me a list of random names.
oh no,
And then I pick the
I'm
ones I
not too
like the
worried
sound
about
of.
the names because I'm I've already thrown in a couple of names of fellow YouTubers, at least first
Yeah.
or last names here and there. Um,
Yeah, I keep using the name Voss a lot lately as a
yeah, I think
surname
Jackie
for.
Jackie would say, "Hey, isn't that YouTuber or something like that?"
I have
Um,
no idea if there's anyone named Voss out there.
I'm certain I have heard him say that name. Uh,
Hmm.
it's some point, but I don't know. He watches a lot of.
Squirrel.
Hey, what's up, Squirrel? How you doing, man? Gonna do some painting. Well, I don't know. Is Zenithal highlighting technically painting? I don't know. Now I gotta
It's
find a good.
foundation work. It's foundational.
Yeah,
It's
I gotta find a good
foundational.
brush of which I don't actually have a good brush for that. Is this one? Yeah, this one might work. I
You know,
brush
I gotta find a better place for this light. I keep cutting it off.
with your
This-
hand.
Yeah, I would put it like on the table in front of me, but I put my legs up there, and they would just cut the light off. I'm lazy.
So what are you up to, Squirrel? If you want to pop in and say hi, the link's in the uh, first part of my Discord. It says live stream links.
Yeah,
Haven't seen you in forever.
squirrel.
Speaking of, got a request for someone to join our D&D game, which I'm always happy to add people where possible.
Who is
We
it?
lost Off Grid Gaming. He's a
Off grid.
fellow
I don't know.
Canadian, so he
I don't
seems like
know.
a decent chap. He's been here.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah,
He's literally just popped up in the chat.
yep, yep. He got a he sent me a message earlier, and I'm like, well, um, the more the merrier. And we do have some people who are sometimes unavailable to make it, so
Or
bringing
fall
someone,
asleep halfway through the game.
yeah, because we've got I think 6 people, including myself, right now, and um, if I don't have 50% or more, I don't want to run the game because a lot of
Hmm.
half the group is going to miss out, and that's not right. They would be there. Um,
Man, I don't care how few people you got going. If I'm not there, don't use that as an excuse not to play. Even though I've only missed 3 sessions since the beginning of the year.
yeah, no, it's not specific
I'm
people.
just saying my attendance is the best, Brian.
I know, right? I wish Brian would come back.
Yeah.
Mac too, but I get it if you got to work or something. And John Miller, welcome to the show. It's online on Discord, but not live. I've too much catch up ladder. I'm not sure what you mean by that. I don't like, uh, you know, I do a recap for the people who
Who
were
give a
there
shit?
and weren't there every week
Mm.
so that people know, okay, this is what happened, just in case they forgot or, whatever. But
I don't forget anything.
you don't remember anything either, though. So
That's besides the point. I remember what needs to be reminded.
sometimes you throw some things in there that you think I missed, but trust me, uh, the overall thing I got going on. Just finished some homemade zapata soup and pretzel bread. Sounds good after hanging out with 2 long-time brothers. Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, I've been thinking a lot about that lately. When I get to Texas, how many people I'll actually be able to. Hey, what's up, Crafton? Get your ass in here. Um,
In person game.
yep, yep. Omen and Brian and uh,
You gotta move close to them.
especially since they're like It's so weird. I mean, if you think about it, these two guys, friends of ours, met, and they're like 10 minutes away from each other. You know,
Hmm.
and now they get to game in person through the wonders of the internet.
I don't think I'm too far away from Sean from fuck, what's this channel called? It's the puppet and the skull.
Oh, Sean, Major's Music.
Mage's Museum.
Yeah, I would love to
But
be in a game with all you guys. He's
I,
definitely on the list.
I've never seen him in person though. Uh,
Father Aaron would be another one, although uh, I'd have to put on my good boy hat. You know what I'm saying? To keep the swearing down. Well, off grid, it's a nautical campaign on a, for the most part, a water world. The planet is mostly water,
mhm.
scattering of islands here and there. On a big ship. Uh,
I will tell you that like at
yeah,
least a third of the party is unintentionally evil.
either they're kind of, some of them are kind of going that way. Uh, good intentions, paving the road to hell, and all that.
Shut up. I'm not evil. I just work for the Dark Lord.
Work for it. You're his biggest fan,
Uh,
and right now that Dark Lord seems to be a queen. So
no, no,
we're playing.
different guy. Different guy. That person is a bitch.
We're playing Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. Mostly rules is written. There are a few things I gloss over, but not much. Just about anything's viable except half orc characters, just because they're, uh, as far as anybody knows, they've never met an orc, let alone a half orc or a goblin or a kobold. Any of this, the oh,
Yar.
you can't hear it, but Jackie's mom is downstairs playing videos of Jackie singing when he was 3 years
Oh,
old.
we can hear it.
Oh, you can hear that?
Yeah, it's very quiet in the background, but we
Well,
can hear
speak
it.
for yourself, Raven says. Hey, Raven, how you doing? The link is
Raven, you are the most evil person in the party. Don't give me that. You are sadistic, manipulative, and female. All those things. Like, honestly.
and we've got players like Omen Owl and
Oh, my
Armstrong
now.
from Mad Eye Miniatures. Renaissance Buccaneers, kinda, because there are black powder weapons, including some cap and ball and actual revolvers and things like that. And you know, if you're going to run a nautical campaign, you got to have cannons. If you've got cannons, you've got to have black powder. And I'm just a big gun nut, so I'm like, any excuse. Oh, I am being bad. I bet that's crafting. It is. Sorry, dude. Sorry. I wish the noise, the little alert thing was better.
Yeah.
There, I did.
Right.
I have the picture uncolor altered just for GM Beelzebub.
Nice. And we're playing
Beelzebub.
Advanced Dungeons and Dragons First Edition because that is, in my opinion, the best version of actual trademarked Dungeons and Dragons. You could argue Second Edition was better, and I would say, yeah. Show me those pictures of side quests
AD&D,
again. Yeah,
John.
80.
AD&D. Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. The worst form of role-playing game ever. Anything with D&D in the title.
I accidentally struck gold at the Dollar Tree yesterday.
Oh, do tell.
I I found makeup brushes. Oh, great! Add to the collection. Eventually, the ones I have will wear out, so get some
Sure,
while they're
sure.
super cheap. Among them, I found one that has a peak point that is actually finer than my smallest dry brush.
This is good. It matters on how it holds
Paint, yeah, I
paint,
know.
though.
I
Yeah.
haven't. I'm going to try that on some of my things now because there's a few miniatures that I couldn't get the cracks at certain spots to when I first dried brushed them, and this will be perfect for that as long as it works right anyway.
Yes and no off grid. It's each of the three major races, elves, dwarves, and humans, have uh, a couple of larger islands where they use whatever nature has benefited them with. Like, excuse me, the dwarves provide the metal and black powder and things like that, and gems and jewelry, whereas the elves provide timber and agricultural products, and the humans are uh, northern ranchers and things like that. They breed the horses and the cows and the pigs and the sheep. And there's
Oh,
a
so
tree.
the humans are the slave labor then?
There's a trio of islands called the Gathering Islands, where the three plus gnomes and hobbits, who tend to live in all of the three other kingdoms in various amounts. Everybody will come to those islands and trade their goods and keep the peace. All of this is due to the God Wars that took place about 250 years prior to the game being played, which means some characters were actually alive during that time. During the God Wars, stuff happened. Polar caps melted, oceans rose, and now people are just trying to, make the best of what they can with, what's left.
Yep.
No, it's not. And one of the things that I've kind of alluded to, but nobody's actually uh, gone into is like Waterworld or Gamma World. The pre Cataclysm world was better off. So somewhere below the waves are vast riches from the before times that folks could try to find by just jumping off the side of a ship and holding their breath and hoping for the best. But um,
We lost our underwater characters.
yeah. Brian
And
from Weird World War II was running a couple of sea elves, which would have made it so easy for them to just reap the benefits of going below the waves and finding all kinds of cool shit. But he's working now, trying to better himself and his wife's position. They just got married, so I kind of foresaw that kind of a thing happening. It's like, okay, now you're married, you gotta kind of be a little more serious about the relationship. Mind you, they've been living
Yeah.
together, I think, for like a decade. So I'm like, all right,
took
here
you
it
so long.
comes. You know,
Um,
but Mel's a great lady, so I get it. And I know once he gets a little better on his feet, he was gaming before I ever met him. He'll never give it up. He just needs to make things a little better. What's up, RPG Exile?
Exile.
Says greetings, Isle. And yeah, let me pull this one up so I can read it. Uh, I see clear advantages to water breathing and salvaging the deep. Absolutely. Uh,
Yep.
it, but I still use his characters as NPCs, and I will do that to anybody who's not there. If they're in a position, like if you're in the middle of a dungeon and you can't make it that night, but everybody's there, and I'll run your character. I'll try not to get you killed, but you can ask Armstrong. His Hobbit fighter uh, almost died when he wasn't there, but fortunately the players got to him. I'm like counting the negative hit points as he's bleeding out, and I'm like they literally got to him at -9. I'm like, oh man, I wasn't going to fudge it, but I told him, hey, you miss a game and you're in the middle of something, you're not immune to taking damage, especially when you're on a boat. There's nowhere to really hide, and if you do get caught hiding, chances are you're going to get keel hauled for it, or at least strung up somewhere and given 30 lashes or some such. God.
You could always write that the character was captured or
Oh yeah.
stuck
Okay.
stuck at the other end of the ship trying to get there. That kind of thing.
Or below decks trying to stave off a water leak or stuff like that. But this was he was right there in the middle of things, and
Yeah, on
uh,
the island.
and then he couldn't leave, and uh, I don't want to I've had other DMs just act like they're invisible. Everybody's like dying around them, and then the player characters are not there, are right there, just standing there like in a video game, just frozen. I hate that. It's like, no, run my character if I'm not there. Mind you, I never miss a game in any of the games I'm in. One time or two I did, uh, beyond my control, but I think I've missed 2 games in 2 years.
Yeah.
In
What were
just
the
over a
reasons
year,
why?
sorry,
No, go.
in the just over a year I've been playing with in Bruce's game, I only missed one game, and that was due to me throwing my back out shoveling snow.
I never missed one of Bruce's games.
Oh no, I missed a second game because I had literally the 1 day stomach flu, and it hit the day of the game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not good. Not good.
Yeah. What were the reasons
Yes.
why I missed? I think I was sick one
Yeah, they
time.
can. Uh, Raven, why aren't you in here? We're just goofing off.
Yeah. Raven's probably still looking for the link from last time.
No, she lost a cat today, and she's pretty upset about it.
Hmm.
Yeah, I make jokes alongside with Justin, but honestly, I'm one of the people that I lose a pet, I'm devastated for it. Not as long as some
Yeah.
people, but I am for a little while.
I don't get how Raven could ever get emotionally attached to any of those cats. There's just too many of them.
Well, some of the ones she's had for longer, you know,
Okay.
I can see that, and you know, if I had that many, I like if I had that many puppies, I I would know each and every one of them. I would literally train them separately, uh, just so that I would have that relationship with them.
Yes, but
But
then you'd never have time to game.
right, that's why I don't have but one dog, and he's a good boy, but he's the only one I'm going to have for a while, I hope. And if that something bad happens to him, I'm going to get two.
Yeah,
Yeah,
to be
well,
spiteful.
No, two just so we can breed them.
Yeah,
And
to be spiteful. Like, there's a reason why your state has that policy.
oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, and you just want to float it to be spiteful.
Well,
Because,
no, not just that. I've raised Yorkies before, and that's like easy,
okay.
easy freaking money. Um, so I'm like, well, because they're not going to let you breed them unless they're, like purebred, anyways. So I figure, you know what, might as well make some money off it. I mean, because you don't really have to do anything with Yorkies. All you got to do is feed them, groom them, play with them, and let them do their thing. And next thing you know, you got puppies, and off they go when they're old enough. And uh, yeah, it's easy, easy, easy work. It's not like bigger dogs where you have to do a lot more with them and work them and exercise them more and stuff. They get exercise just running up the stairs. The tiny little kick me dogs.
Yeah.
this little dry brush that I was talking about releases prey interestingly. I can't say I dislike it, but it puts a little more on flat spots than I would overall like, but not so much to say it's useless either. I just got to learn how to control it a little better.
But dry brushing?
Oh, this new dry brush.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I learned how to dry brush. It was so eye opening. A simple technique that just changes everything.
Oh.
Well,
And yeah,
thanks.
I go the -10 route for hit points. I don't like doing the negative con because I mean, that literally is so many extra hit points. Um, especially if you've got like a dwarf who can go like -18. It's like, no, 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 no. -10. Everybody's, and they, I forget the exact rate at the moment, but it's not like one around. It's like one, then two, then three. So it's not, it can be real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I left mine on the slow end of things when it came to my game, but that's also because it's straight written in. You can be coup de grace if you're in a coma in the
Yeah, well,
middle of
that
battle.
shit. Yeah, if you're unconscious, asleep, or anything like that, and you shouldn't even need to roll to hit for crap like that.
Nope,
If somebody's unconscious, you're not going to miss, and if you miss,
Yeah.
you're certainly not going to accidentally kill yourself, which I've
no.
seen happen, and that's just no. I know it's
Now,
funny
I'm
in a way.
okay with critical failures, and I suggest that in the thing that I sent for our game earlier.
Uh-huh.
Um, but only that. But because we're making a police procedural,
Hmm.
right? Like I think if you fire your weapon and you get a one, maybe you got to roll on a table that says, okay, you killed the guy, and now you have to do like
Paperwork.
like paperwork, and then you got to role play that, or you accidentally kill the passerby, so you're definitely in deep shit.
Yeah.
You
Uh,
know that kind of stuff, right?
sure. So off grid, we've got two thieves. Uh,
I didn't go in depth in that, but yeah. Sorry, you were saying something,
no, I
off
just
grid.
wanted to answer this question from off grid. We've got two thieves, a couple of warriors, a paladin, a couple of magic users, an illusionist. Uh,
Yeah, a lot. Like everyone except for me is running two characters. Please don't run two characters. I thank Raven for dropping one of hers,
Let's see
but
here.
yeah,
Oh, yeah. Never run two characters unless you have a split personality.
yeah. It's like
well, at the beginning, I thought people would just run one then the other, but most of the players want to run them at the same time or need to. Um, and I
yeah,
wasn't sure how many players we were going to have, if it's going to be enough. Um,
I liked the idea of running two characters until I actually tried it and then realized I forget the other character 90% of the time.
Not me. I like it because I like the players to have like the buddy system, you know, so that they've always got someone who is watching their back, has their back, kind of thing. Especially early on when we had Mac in the party, that made us gave us more clerics because and Brian then we had a druid and another cleric and a ranger and
yeah. But we
another
don't need all
fighter.
that
No,
shit, man.
we had two. Mac
You
was
know
running
what
two
we need?
clerics.
We need everyone to only have one character, and none of them to be anything but fighters. Fuck your magic. Fuck your healing. If you get wounded and die, create another character. Simp.
No, no, no. I absolutely love the other professions more than I do fighters.
Shut
Uh,
up. You're supposed to run with my joke, bro.
Yeah,
and
Justin's trying to summon Mr. Max.
off grid, my
No.
current dog is a kind of like a pound dog, and I agree they're the best. Uh, but if I could make some money off it, because getting two pound dogs and getting them to make a third kind of pound dog, uh, because I despise the idea of not having animals that can be happy and do the things that make dogs happy as well as people. And my state is just really really evil about that. So if I can screw them over, or
Spiteful
yes,
mutant.
yes, that is me. um, I wish I could have done it sooner when Jackie was younger. That's one of the reasons why I hope it doesn't happen until I get the hell out of here. And then if I'm in Texas and uh, I've got a shop, then I probably won't really have the time for any of that.
Bubba,
Definitely have a
if
dog.
you want to join us, the link is in Shadow's Discord. It's the first category at the top, the newest link.
What's up, Bubba?
And Bubba, I changed my picture just for you. Now I'm a hobgoblin or whatever you said orange orc or an orange orc should be. That's what it looks like to me as an orange orc.
Whatever, bro.
What, I'm not allowed to do or try to do a running gag?
No. That's my thing. Do your own thing.
I'm
Sitting on the
pretty
back
sure.
of Justin's wall. Property of Justin, all running gags.
Yes, I
Yeah,
recommend Weird Hats.
that's a load of horse shit. Because I saw the bingo
Hey,
card,
I copyrighted it.
and the bingo cards have running gags from everyone. Yes, I do live in California, RPG.
And it's pronounced California.
Yeah, and I really, it sucks because I've lived here most of my life, and there are some really good things about this place, even to this day. But things were so
Yeah,
much better just a
but
mere 10 years ago.
the thing you love about California the most is the extreme variety of meth customers for your your meth business, and new stars for your porn business
Yeah, that's not.
that he usually pays in meth.
Well, I mean, if I was going to do such things, that would just be logical, wouldn't it?
Yep.
You know,
And if you can
I
find one
simply
of those
don't do
bingo
any of those
cards,
things.
that's 2 squares, right?
I didn't hear you actually.
And if you can find one of those bingo cards, that's 2 squares.
Yeah, I need to print those up, and
So,
I'm
man,
hoping that
you need to create an app that randomly generates them.
that would be one way.
So the people watching can go to that website, generate a bingo card, and click things as they come up.
Yeah, but see, if I'm going to give away prizes, I got to be able to,
Yeah,
pay
well,
for the prizes.
and then when
Just don't
somebody
forget what the grand
wins,
prize is. A
yeah,
night with Justin.
no, the grand prize in Shadows Bingo is to be the star in one of his new movies. I think he's currently working on bathhouses in Santa Monica. 94.
See, I figured it would be House of the
Uh,
Rising Sun.
no, it's trains at the House of the Rising Sun.
You guys are terrible. I swear to God. Oh man, too much paint. I
I
thought
think there's like 4 more spots on the card if you've got them. Oh. Well, what you got to do is like every time something comes up and you notice it, you've got to like hit it on the master list
okay, who do we have
of,
here?
of the questions. And if
Their name
somebody,
should be with their picture.
Hey, Bubba, welcome to the show, man.
Baba,
Hey,
it's all weird
Good,
there.
Bubba.
It's all dark and shit.
I know, right?
You got to find a way to get that glitch to be on the camera all the time.
Oh,
That
I love that. I would love to
yeah,
find a way to
I,
do that on
I
TV.
like it too. It's just maybe 30% a little weaker. It would be
Yeah, it was cool.
Actually, I sometimes put 3 filters on.
yeah.
I layer that shit. I'm waiting for someone to complain so I can just go adjust your tracking.
Just your tracking.
Well, I think I did. I just complained.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough.
How you doing, Bubba?
Tired.
Yeah, you sound tired. All that smoking, man.
Yeah,
All
it
that-
thunderstormed when I was doing my smoke.
Yeah, we got a little rain this morning too.
Well, it drops the temperature of the smoker, which gives you an inconsistent temperature smoking. You don't want an inconsistent temperature when you're smoking brisket. So,
Brisket.
but here's what we'll do.
We had steak and baked potatoes.
We had I made brisket, I smoked some hatch green chili sausages and some jalapeno cheddar sausages, and I made Tennessee onions.
Now I had a jalapeno pizza for lunch.
So what was that? Tennessee what?
Tennessee onions.
What is that?
I take my cast iron casserole dish and I chop up 3 onions in thick rings, and
Okay.
then I season them with Creole seasoning and garlic powder, and I mix it up real good. And then I put package of provolone over top of it,
Ooh.
and then a package of either four state cheddar or extra sharp cheddar, and then I cut up half a thing of butter into packs, and then I bake it at 350 for 45 minutes an hour.
I
And,
like me some Monterey Jack.
you just eat it with a spoon and fork.
Ooh.
That does sound good.
Like
It's
you make a pot for everyone.
amazing, huh?
For
Make a
everyone.
pot for everyone. A pot of that for everyone.
Yeah, I do it in my cast iron casserole dish. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No. I mean, like an individual pot for everyone. You
Uh,
should,
When I
have
get
some sausage
smaller,
crumble.
when I get smaller serving size things, I will, because then I'll change up the seasoning and the cheeses.
Yeah. You
But
should add sausage to it.
see, it's a vegetable side dish, and once you melt, you realize how soft those onions are, and you spoon it out. You can eat it aside, or you can use it to smother a steak or something.
Yeah, I don't care. You should still add sausage to it. Not like sausage links, just like sausage crumble
I mean, yeah.
or
I'm,
bacon
Brandon,
bits,
I'm
or just
thinking
bacon.
about it.
Add
I'm thinking
both.
about going, but
Add sausage and bacon strips.
it's not going to be easy for me
We had some.
because I got my boy in school at that time, and I don't fly, so I'd have to take like a bus or something.
Yeah, I don't fly
So
anymore either. Why don't you just
yeah,
drive?
because I
doesn't
don't
drive.
drive. Yeah, I don't drive.
Wow. You don't have a car, or you just don't like driving?
I've never had a driver's license.
Okay.
For a long time, I had seizures, so they wouldn't give me one.
Right.
And then when I got over the seizures, um, they wanted me to wear a mask for the driving school and tests and all this crap. And I'm like, nah, I'll just wait till I get to Texas and worry about it. It's not like I would go anywhere anyways. I only leave the house or or my neighborhood once a week, and I did that
I get
today. And there's nowhere to go, and it's California, so you never know what you're going to get when you go.
Yeah, I remember the highway murders
Yeah.
were when I was in high school. Do they still have those? Or, they call it road rage now, but the highway murders.
Yes, we have.
People blasting each other.
Yes, that's still a thing. It's actually getting worse. And it's funny because back in the 80s, 90s, I knew this guy who would visit me like once every couple of weeks, hang out with me and some other friends, and he drove a small motorhome, and it was full of everything he owned, and therefore it was full of guns, and I was just, he was like the original road rager, you know.
Perfect.
He would be driving along and someone would cut him off, and he'd point it, an MP5 at him.
Yeah. I've seen. I remember when the
That's
bikers used
that's
to
an
ride
attitude
with
that that's an
shotgun.
attitude that legitimizes you not being allowed to have guns, in my opinion.
Oh, and everybody's
The-
had
the-
it.
It's a
That's right.
13-hour drive for me. It would be like a 24-hour
Yeah.
to 30-hour drive.
Do you remember when the bikers used to be able to drive around with a shotgun right there on the front bars
Yep.
of the bikes?
Yep.
Dude.
Now only the CHP can do that,
Yeah.
which is
In
just
high
as
school, dude, every
dangerous.
car, every truck in our parking lot had a gun rack. There were guns packed in my high school parking lot.
Yeah, but they weren't pointing them at random people for driving on the road.
For cutting them
People have
off.
changed.
Yeah.
Dude, it's not the guns, it's the people have changed. Those
Yes.
bikers didn't shoot each other either, and they were 1%ers. Okay.
Yes.
I knew a guy who carried a hand grenade on a chain around his neck.
Yeah.
He never used it, and it was live. I know
I
it was
hope
live.
not. It was on a chain around his neck.
Well, no, I
He
mean
used it.
he had more.
Dude,
You
that's
know,
one way to get out of a bar fight, dude. Just yank the chain, hold it up. And as long as that pin don't pop, the hammer, the side pin, you're good.
Do you see this? Do you want to punch me? I just reach up like this. I just reach up like this, and you want to keep fighting, bro?
Yeah, I've seen some weird stuff in people's living rooms, dude. I've seen a case of grenades, pineapples, and even in the 80s, late 80s, those were old. We hadn't made pineapples in a very long time. So those are technically kind of sketchy. Same way with seeing a whole crate full of front towards enemy claymores.
oh, did I send you guys that picture of a doorbell with a couple of wires? I was like, oh my god, that was great. It's funny because I guess I'm no longer on the shit list on Facebook. I don't know how to take that. I'm now allowed to share things more than just one thing a day. So,
That's
so I'm
usually
back
a
at it.
30-day or 1 month thing. I mean, a 1 month thing
Mm-mm.
usually, unless they kick you for a while.
Mine was over a year. Mine was
Year.
several years. I think the last time I posted was during the previous administration, and every once in a while I would check. And same thing. One thing up, nope, can't do anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like
You
getting
ever
30-day
try
timeout all the
calling
time.
tech support? Tech
No.
support. Yeah. Always complain. It's
Oh.
the white way.
It's the Karen way.
Shut
Can
up,
I
man.
speak to the manager? You got your
No,
hair.
no.
Your hair's
Cheese
almost
is the
there,
white
dude.
way.
It's
Your
the
hair's
white way.
almost there. You need a little bit more down to cover your eye, and you can go. I need to speak to the manager. And you frost it.
Yeah, no, that's too much work. I like the one.
He's playing with his hair, man. He's been listening to Taylor too much.
Oh, I gotta get the lyrics. I gotta get the lyrics to those things, like those songs, and then just pump them into ChatGPT and ask the ChatGPT to convert the song into a 7-chapter outline for a book,
That'd be funny.
and then convert each one into erotica stories.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of that kind of fanfic out there already.
Speaking of which, I'm on page about 75 of the first Gore novel, and I'm like, so far this is pretty.
It's
Pretty
tame.
tame.
Yeah,
It is insanely
Yeah.
tame. I had no idea these people were ever complaining about. It is tame.
Well, they get more later on, like around book 15 or so, from what I hear.
It's still not that bad.
But who the fuck gets that far in a Gore series?
Oh,
Who's read one book in Gore and goes, you know what I need? I need 20
More
more
cowbell?
of these.
I take the
more
fifth.
cowbell.
I take the fifth on that.
You know what? I'm gonna go as far as I can with them. So far, I don't hate it. It's a little railroady, with the main character at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
A
They're
little,
all like that though.
yeah. So I'm gonna, see as far as how far I can get
no more
before.
railroady than John Carter.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, all the Great White Hope kind of characters like that were all the same, very similar.
Off grid. There's the North Texas one. There's also ReaperCon, and soon there will be ShadowCon, and that one will be the king of the unwoke.
Where's Reaper going?
It's from the Reaper Miniature Factory.
Is that the one in Cincinnati though? It's not south.
No, it's at the Reaper Factory.
The factory's in Texas.
What's
Or at least that's what I've been led to believe. I could be wrong on that one, but I've been following it for years, and I of all the conventions, that's the one I want to go to the most because
Where is ReaperCon?
I think ReaperCon is not actually in the factory, but the factory's right nearby, so that if you want to pay the price, you can take
Denton, Texas,
Yeah.
August 28th to September 1st. It's going on right now.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's just kind of expensive for me right now, and because if I go, I gotta save money also for the Reaper factory tour because you walk away with a crap ton of swag. The Reaper con isn't very big, but I know
Fix that
people.
with something else. Comic Con.
Yeah, there's like 500 Comic Cons, bro.
I know, but I thought the Reaper one was. There is a miniature one in um, Cincinnati. I've never gone to. I'm not looking. I'm looking through the damn list now to see all the cons in Cincinnati.
What miniature con is in Cincinnati?
I don't know.
Well, I think I've totally destroyed this brush. Wow, nice. But I've almost done all the Zenithals. I've got
Tiny
3,
Town?
8, 9.
They've canceled so many. I don't. I might just be out of my mind.
Yeah, ShadowCon. That's the convention I'm going to be holding somewhere in Texas when I get out there. I might even do it before then, in conjunction with Emperor's Choice Games, to help promote the Arduin game. It won't be a big one, you know.
Where are they located?
What?
They're near me, right? Just on the other side of the border.
They're in New York.
New York?
Mhm.
New York State, though, not
Yeah.
New York City.
Buffalo.
Buffalo? Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I wish they would
I've
move
been
it
to Buffalo.
out of there.
Upstate New York ain't bad.
Yeah.
I know, but it just
They're
makes it.
still
You know,
Yankees. I know Dragon Con in Atlanta has gone completely insane, evidently. And Origins in Columbus, Ohio, I have no intention to ever go back. And they've gotten pretty pathetic.
yeah, I'm also worried that Gary Kahn is going to be pretty woke or whatever you want to
Yes,
call it.
Yeah.
It's converged.
It's converged. They got to get them extra bodies, dude. Once they see about, we need to expand our hobby. The people that want to create the new SR have to do so by burning down the OSR. And they don't. Sometimes they say it out loud, but a lot of times it's just a little change at a time. And then you get the things like, you should probably wear a mask. You should probably be vaccinated. You should probably watch your language right at the con or you'll be kicked out. And you know what? Let's not have these people who are going to call the vision in the first place. So, let's water it down for the least common denominator, like any other bland corporate product. Fucking gay.
But when you look at the photos of who enters, it's still 90% 50-plus-year-old white dudes.
Yeah. But, they go along to get along. And that is the road to just not being able to do anything, right?
Unfortunately, it's true.
Yeah.
Jeff, I don't think I've seen you before.
I've only gone
Hey, what's up, Jeff?
on Gen Con. I used to go to Origins a lot. We joked about having a combination con gaming con / gun show, and that would automatically just keep all the lefties out of it because they'd be like terrified of all the firearms.
That's
Oh,
not
good.
true.
You do have a lot.
The George Brown Gun Club will show up.
There's those little small sections of the leftovers, right?
Yeah, the George Brown Gun Club will show up and they'll shoot you.
Shoot.
And
then
they
blame
actually know how
you
to
for
use
the
their
shooting.
guns.
Blame me. Come in waving a gun, and it's your fault that I'm here. That I came out of my way. It's like that we had a county clerk that got sued down in Moorhead, down in Morgan County. Anyway, the couple sued because she wouldn't sign off on their same-sex wedding marriage. They literally drove down from up above Cincinnati. They drove through X amount of counties that had no problem to get to the one county where there's a problem. They knew there'd be a problem because they just had to have the license there. Agitators become.
Well, there was literally somebody in that particular, they apparently they eventually took their post down, but freely admitted, all right, we have gotten D&D orcs to, because this is right after the D&D Mexican orc bullshit started. They literally said, now how do we get Warhammer orcs like this?
Yeah.
Like, fuck you, stay away from
pick a
all
target.
orcs.
They pick a target and they want to destroy all your tropes so they can have their barista game.
Uh-huh.
Or turn everything into Dorklandia /sigil, you know?
Yeah.
It's crazy. I don't understand it. The need to shit on someone else is fun.
Because they're evil.
Yeah.
Well, part of it,
make it unfun. They complain it's not fun anymore. Where did all the creativity go? You irritated.
I guarantee you.
Point. You just stay at home.
I can guarantee you, most of these people, part of their thing is they get no easy victories elsewhere. So they think if they get a victory anywhere, it counts as a. They're literally modern Klingons. Even the smallest, most stupid victory is a great honor-bound victory.
But Klingons had honor. I mean, these people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, but the Klingons are better than them because they at least had honor. I'm just saying they're.
I patterned my hobgoblins on actual Klingons, dude.
Oh,
speaking of which, I made my character orange, just like you said in that one chat.
Yeah, so I was like, that's a hobgoblin.
Yeah. I wish I could remember Klingon. I learned it in high school.
Really?
Yeah. We used to play the card game at lunch.
Oh, really?
I don't have any of the cards anymore, so don't ask me. If I did, they would be yours, bro. But we used to play it, and we play teams, right? And one of the other guys that I always played with, we played Klingons, and we would fuck with the other players by communicating, like strategizing with each other by talking in Klingon.
Nice.
It's like, you can learn it. I'll even lend you the cassette tape. Nobody ever did.
I had learned Klingon. I had a friend that learned Klingon, but I never learned it. It's like the ultimate of, if you're geeky and you're nerd, it's one thing, but then there's a certain level that's like, man, learning
Yes, but I learned it for a purpose.
I'm still trying to learn Gaelic, dude. I learned bits and pieces of
Gaelic.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with trying to master English first.
And
And
there
then
was
maybe one of these millennia I'll catch up with you guys.
I can't roll my tongue out, man. I sound retarded in Gaelic.
I don't know the book because I didn't actually read it, but somebody was back in high school was telling me about it. There is a book that it's heavily implied. They don't say exactly what it is, but a bunch of I think this was a post-apocalyptic style book, if I remember correctly. But anyway, a bunch of people learned Klingon. It wasn't directly said, but it was heavily implied, so that they could strategize on the battlefield without their enemies knowing what they were saying.
Yeah, it's like you can do that with any kind of language anymore. Like we use the Navajo for that same reason in World War II.
Yeah,
it's a very loose language, so you got to be talking to someone else who speaks the same language to actually understand them. It's weird.
Mm-hmm.
What did you bring up a while ago, off grade? I'm sorry.
He brought up a lot of stuff.
Yeah, that's why you need to.
Sorry, guys. I want to get this done, so that the next time I sit down, I can actually just paint. It's been a couple of months, and I'm finally getting that urge back. You know, I guess I just needed a break.
I meant to get one the other day before I had to go up for my meeting. But...
What you guys paint? I'm kind of want to start painting again, but I really got the space to do any miniatures or anything.
Yeah, I went to move some stuff around earlier.
I'm painting Star Slot miniatures, which are basically some sci-fi miniatures that are poking fun at Star Wars, Star Trek, Planet of the Apes. I've got a Robbie the Robot here. I've got some.
He needs a blaster rifle, man.
I think I'm painting right now. I'm dry brushing some things that I swear are the Chigs from Space Above and Beyond.
Oh. I put that in the group chat for my show, right? So if you want to watch that,
it's a good show.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to check it out.
Oh yeah, one of those shows, one of those Firefly-esque shows that should have, not been treated so poorly.
Foxed.
Yeah, Fox.
It should not have been foxed.
They do. I mean, they do cancel out good shows after one season for no reason.
I
And the
mean,
ones that have less viewership get dragged on for 2 or 3 seasons.
well, yeah, those are the ones that usually actually have an agenda or some bullshit going on with them.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the
No
only
reason, bro.
the only reason why X-Files carried on for so long is because Fox Mulder had that porn addiction, so he was normalizing porn.
You think?
that
Because
was
I
extremely popular
it wasn't
show.
like
Shut up, man. I'm using a conspiracy theory here, man.
Oh my!
because it really wasn't that prevalent. I didn't even know until the show was off the air.
I didn't even know until Bubba mentioned it in an episode of my show.
Which one?
That Mulder had a porn addiction.
Oh, okay.
You brought that up. I was like, did he?
Did I?
Which is really saying something because what was it back in the 80s or 90s that the X Files was on? It wasn't like you could just go on your internet and grab it. You know what I mean?
Well, it was like Playboy or Hustler.
Right. Yeah, Hustler. You had to get the brown paper bag porn jugs.
You probably had the subscription.
Subscription.
Yeah, I was a kid, so and my father was an alcoholic, so I always thought the brown bag meant he was not necessarily an alcoholic, but had liked his alcohol a little too much.
Only I'm not talking about the bag for drinks, but if you saw something that came in a brown wrap before Amazon, it was porn.
Yeah, that's how they mailed it.
Or in the stores. We had a couple of grocery stores that had a bottom shelf, and it had the like a brown bag around it, you can see the title.
Which is weird because you would think they would be on the upper shelf, so the littlest ones couldn't get a hold of it. But what do I know?
Yeah, and we had this.
When 7-Eleven still carried it, it was on the top shelf. Here, anyway.
We had a
newsstand. I bought it for about a year.
The best variety of insane pornography in the world. It was kind of weird. Because as soon as I got 18, I had to step back here and find out what was going on. I'm like, this shit is bizarre. I miss that.
Well,
yeah. The whole thing is kind of weird. I mean,
it's not healthy. It's not healthy.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it just, it seems to me that, I mean, with the money you could be spending on that, I mean, just hire a hooker.
Porn anymore, man.
Just, I mean, back in the day, just hire a freaking hooker,
Yeah, I've said that.
Yeah, well,
I think it's a lot healthier for you to spend time because, it's physically and psychologically, not morally. It's probably healthier for you to see a prostitute than watch porn.
I wouldn't say about the prostitute being morally superior to that.
No, I said it wasn't moral superior, but psychologically healthier because you're interacting with another human being, right?
You get to a certain point, you're dehumanizing yourself.
I think on that scale, visiting a prostitute is
Fair
less
enough.
Dehumanizing than sitting alone jerking it to.
Yeah, fair enough. When I was younger and more libertarian, I was like, porn should be legal. Now that I'm older and I jokingly say wiser, but
if I had to have one legal in society, if I had to have one legal in society, I'd prefer prostitution over porn.
Yeah,
agreed.
It's less destructive, I'd say. Less destructive for the consumer, highly more destructive for the seller, because that destroys any kind of pair bonding. The multiple, once you start stacking multiple.
Yes, but we practically have both of them legal in our society as it is.
Oh,
so.
Yes. Everybody's pretty much a fucking whore anymore, that's for sure.
Yeah.
It is pathetic. I mean,
you're all sitting here. You're sitting there all having this conversation while the fourth man is a virgin.
Yeah.
It's what it is.
You could work on that though.
Could get you one of them little Filipino mail brides, man.
Well,
Just saying.
I don't know. You could probably get a Ukrainian one cheaper these days.
Ukrainians are crazy, dude. There's a reason the Russians don't want them and Europe don't want them.
Wow.
Yeah, but still.
Talk about a free for all. Wow, guys.
Get you one of them Russian mail brides. You don't see the Russian mail order brides as prevalent as it used to be. It shifts by region. And I think the hot area right now would probably be Philippines, Malaysia. Just saying. It's an
Yeah.
Vietnam, Thailand.
Yeah. And they have a much
I don't
different
know. That last one,
relationship.
I wouldn't risk it.
Thailand.
They view it as
The
a
trap
transactional
ratio
relationship.
is pretty
And
high.
Believe it or not, it's pretty high in the Philippines too.
Well, technically,
Yeah,
if I were to get a
the
Russian wife, I
duration
guarantee you she'd build a log cabin over it's where I live.
Oh, don't bring them back. Whatever you do.
Yeah.
No.
Paraguay, there you go. It's not bad.
Paraguay.
It won't ages nicely, but I'm just saying. My wife poke her head in the room. What did you say?
I'm giving a virgin advice about how to get women.
Buy them from the internet.
Well,
guys, you're all wrong. Everybody knows we don't pay for sex. We pay for them to leave.
you rent it.
Yeah.
Oh, terrible.
Yes, that's why you get them a passport to a different country.
Yeah.
No,
Gaelic
you don't
is
pay,
more
period.
spoken
Well,
outside of Ireland and Scotland than it is in now. So more people going there speak it than the native populations. It's weird.
I blame folk music.
I blame globalization. And only those who are interested in their roots and want to go return to the motherlands actually bother to learn it. And those all areas are being bombarded with the globalist message of destroying culture. So there's nothing unique left.
Yeah.
It's pretty.
If you ever want to look at what globalism is, take these 7 pots of paint: white, black, brown, yellow, blue, green, and red.
Mix it all together.
White, black, yellow, brown,
Just Roy G. Beef.
blue. Yeah, and dump them all into the white pot. Just the white pot.
Yes. It's true.
And then call it racist colonialism if you take any of the white and mix it into any of the other pots.
Yeah. Tired.
Yeah. I don't know. That last comment there off grid is what you call a pipe dream.
Yeah.
You never know. It'll always be that thing you didn't think about that comes out to be on top anyway. I think we're all doomed.
Oh.
Beelzebub just runs down the street. We're all doomed. Doomed. Oh, hi, Bob. We're doomed.
Ralph, man. It's crazy Ralph. Don't go to Camp Blood. Crazy Ralph was right, though, right? That's the thing. Crazy Ralph was right. And even he went out there and got his ass killed.
Who the fuck is soy-based Jeremy?
I don't know.
He's a friend of Bruce's. Hey, what's up? What's up, Jeremy?
Yeah, so is Jeff.
I'm offended.
Okay.
Welcome to the show.
I'm just saying. I felt a Felix vibe looking at that name. Okay, I'm just saying.
That's a regular joke here. We've got Justin's got a super fan named.
Well, I used to. We haven't seen them in a while.
That's true, man. If you don't think you've got an hope or an option to persevere, then prepping's pointless. So if you think
Well,
there's
there has actually been. Sorry.
I've been prepping my whole life, and
Yeah,
uh,
we know you have.
what's up,
Just on
Jerry?
your film career.
I haven't done a prepping video in a while because Bo is usually my sidekick on that show, but I'm Felix in Bruce's Discord. I don't I don't think so. Felix is got a bit of a crush on Justin.
Have you ever asked Bruce how big his hands are seductively? No, seductively.
Have you ever drawn a picture of Bruce?
Mm,
they call me Bruce.
Yeah, we've had some
Bruce.
interesting flybys or
Cheer it
drive-bys.
up, dude. You guys want to talk about film, sci-fi? What are you talking about this evening, anyway?
It's nothing. It's a free for all tonight. That's the end
Yeah,
of the
bring
month.
your own topic, Willis.
I've got one.
Also, your name's Willis now.
What you talking about, Willis?
Exactly.
You just called Felix. Okay.
The cat. That's a cool comic.
Mhm.
It was. I've made a couple of references over the past couple of months that nobody caught, like Vavoom. You guys remember him?
No, I don't remember that one particular. Or I might be
He's the
running.
character. His voice could like tunnel through mountains.
I don't.
Yeah, and then made a Master Cylinder joke a while back.
Master
That is
Cylinder,
obscure. My granddaughter is all about Electro Girl and Electro Woman and Donna Girl.
Oh yeah, I actually watched the
Electro
pilot of that a while back. Yikes!
and Dinah Girl.
Yeah, it's an
Sounds
old
like-
Diana
vaguely
Girl was the
familiar.
shit. She was
It's a
cute as
what?
Sid and Marty Krofft production. They
Same
made
people as
all kinds of trippy stuff in the 70s.
Land of the Lost, Lost Saucer, Doctor
Lost Sauce
Shrinker.
was so bad, dude. Oh, it's not wild.
I mean, any show that stars Ruth Buzzy and Jim Neighbors,
Yeah.
just saying, wow.
Oh,
But they made the Bay City Rollers kind of awesome. I'm just saying.
Hey, I used to play drums for the Bay City Rollers. Watch what you're saying, man. I actually saw a video clip of them just this last week because I've been getting that those clips, the top songs of 1972 or 1984, and there was I think it was Whatever Happened to Saturday Night. Was the one I saw
Whatever Happened to Saturday Night is a great song.
from the
Only
Bay City
you
Rollers.
enjoy it if you're at the roller rink
Oh yeah, I used to love the roller rink.
shooting roller disco. Just
Oh,
saying.
big time, big time. When I was like 12, from like 12 to 14, my mom used to work React, which was the CB radio emergency channel. So like when you're on the road and you go on channel 9 and say, hey, I need help.
Yeah.
There'd be workers on React that would then call the local police or fire department and get people to you. That's how it worked. And she would do that. And I want to say Friday night, they'd have a meeting where they'd all just get drunk and, disco dance and have raffles and stuff like that. And my mom was dragging me to those things. It'd be like 10 o'clock on a Friday night. I'm 12, disco dancing, freaking playing pool, having a great time.
I can picture you with butterfly colors. Little
Oh,
polyester.
dude, I had my hair wasn't as long, but I still had long hair. I had these like fake silk shirts with all kinds of not quite Hawaiian print, but long sleeve with the big old collars.
The big question for the
Yeah, I
70s,
tore it
though,
up.
the long hair had to be feathered, right?
Oh, big time, big time, big time.
Mm.
Oh man, and believe it or not, I actually took second place once
There you
amongst
go.
a bunch of adults. This one guy, he always won because he was doing the robot back in like 78, 79 or some shit. He was always winning,
Sigmund the Sea Monster.
but I never had to dance alone. I tell you that because apparently my mom wasn't the only alcoholic bringing her kids to these meetings.
That was
I can
just the
still
general state of everything, though. But the
I can
prom
still remember
remix
this
they
this
went to
one
see
girl,
last a
man.
while back, and it was terrible, man. The original is so much better quality.
What?
Good times, good times.
What did I miss?
Disco.
Disco.
Just
Oh yeah.
The dance that Shadow invented.
Hey, I
Burn
didn't
it with
invent it, man.
fire.
Currently
That's a
drumming.
lie. Do
Nice.
not bearing false witnesses against your Jewish God.
Uh, I'm not Jewish. Uh, I
Yeah.
almost thought
Well.
about converting to date this one girl, though. I made some dumb decisions.
Yeah.
That was almost one of them.
Double damnation.
I don't know, man. I would give up my uh, fervent anti-Semitism if Natalie Portman would come my way.
See,
No,
everybody's got their price. Everybody's got their price. Sitting in
AI.
the Sea Monster, yeah, it was amazing how many weirdos.
Mm,
I literally mean weirdos were in those shows. You had uh, Nelson Riley, Rip Taylor, Jim Neighbors, Ruth Buzzy. Just
Yeah.
saying, it's a wonder all those little kids didn't walk away from those shows traumatized. I think the only safe show was probably Land of the Lost. Just saying.
There was a
Yeah,
cast.
even that weirdo from Doctor Shrinker. He just, oh, dude.
Dude, he was a creepy looking dude, though.
wait. Wasn't Lost in Space and Time Tunnel one of part of those
Time
collection
Tunnel's
of shows?
Canadian.
Nope, nope.
Lost in Space was a 1950s show. Space Saucer was a ripoff of Lost in Space with probably 1/8 the budget and zero the talent.
That's awesome. Off grid. You're gonna have to send us some pictures of your minis in my Discord. Uh, charcoal drawing, yeah, that's something I could never.
Who made
That and
Time Tunnel?
pastels, I could never get into. My son is phenomenal. He's really good. So good that I'm hoping that he'll animate one of my short stories. But so far, I think the only one he could do would be Stampede, right, Justin?
Stampede, maybe.
Everything else, I think, would be just a little too smoochy for him, and he'd be like, "I ain't doing it." And uh, Harvester of Sorrows, he would literally disown me.
Mm.
Uh,
Who made those shows that you were talking about?
Sid Marty Croft,
Sid
Doctor
Marty Krofft.
Snuggles.
Okay,
No,
yeah. Irwin Allen was the guy that made Time Tunnel.
Oh, I don't remember that
oh,
one.
and don't forget, was the Bugaloos Sid Marty Croft, or was that a British thing?
It was a British thing, but I don't know if it was them because they had the
That one
same.
was really weird. And they did they do HR Puff and stuff?
Yes,
Okay, that was another weird one.
I like the HR.
Dr. Snuggle sounds like the name of a Poppy Playtime bad guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
Yes, I am in Bruce's Discord.
Oh, I don't think about
As a
doing.
matter of fact, Soy, uh, if you're on your computer right now, type in on YouTube, type in the Fourth Agenda, and you will see Bruce. He's done a a video for Jackie's web series where Bruce plays a uh, Alex Jones type of character, but set in Jackie's universe. He did a great job. You will laugh your ass off. Bruce was Bruce was a real trooper. He even went out and bought a special shirt just for it. You know, he didn't have to do that. He could just say, I don't have a Hawaiian shirt. Can I just wear something else? But he went and ordered a Hawaiian shirt, did the whole thing for him. And it's not episode 5. It's like the episode between 4 and 5. It's like a little short 5-minute thing. But he really came through for Jackie.
Hmm.
You know what? My friend Mark sent me one of the Dragonlance box sets, like minty, fresh. Like the 8 or 10 miniature set, because he just didn't want it. And I'm like, dude, it's like a $300 miniature set. You should have just sold it, man. It's still sitting on a shelf. I'll never paint that fucker. It's worth too much money
What's
as it
that?
is. It's one of the Dragonland sets that had like the main characters in it. And I looked it up, and this was over a
I have
year.
the silver dragon. I think I've shown it off on the stream before.
Yeah, it was a Grenadier model set. And I'm like, dude, this thing's worth like $300. He's like, no, I want you to have it. I'm like, thanks, bro. I will never paint it. Uh,
Who's the writer of the silver dragon?
wasn't it Tracy Hickman?
No, the rider of the dragon, not the writer.
Oh, I don't know. I thought you meant
Yeah.
writer,
It's
not
the long
writer.
Yeah.
Read that.
I'm talking all like me. My voice is not the clearest, as you well know.
Quit
Yeah, I
mumbling.
don't have too many. Actually, I can't say that. Actually, I have a lot of Grenadier sets. I have most of the Star Wars sets. I have most of the superhero sets, including the Watchmen, of course. I've got the Marvel superhero sets, all three of those, all of the Star Frontiers. I've got a sealed box of Commandos. I've got the Champions, two superhero sets. Shit, I've got a lot of Grenadier sets now I think about it. I've got the Western set, which is really dinky. It's supposed to be 25 millimeter, but I swear it's only like 20 millimeter. And of course,
Well,
I'll never use those either.
After hearing this long list of miniatures, I only have one question, Shadow. Where do you live again?
I was thinking the
I
same
live in
thing.
California. You should have my address. You just mailed me something. Yeah.
Typically, I do, but it makes good for a joke.
Yeah. I know you would never break into my place. You'd have to deal with Chewy, and while you may be a thief, I'm sure you're not a dog killer, and Chewy would
Nope.
just love you and just like, you'd be like, oh man, you spend too much time playing with Chewy. Like, oh shit, I was supposed to steal shit. Oh, someone's at the door. Actually, no one would be at the door because I never freaking leave. You'd have to wait till like Saturday afternoon, and then all my neighbors would be like, hey, who's that guy? Well, shit. I zenithalled all my minis, and now I've got 4 hours till I can paint them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But then
mine
you
are pretty
dry
much-
brush your minis. You haven't zenithalled them. Zenithalling them involves doing the top-down spray.
Well,
No,
I
you can
did
do
it.
that with a dry brush.
Yeah, I just
Bro.
dry brushed them that way.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know you could do that with a dry brush. I go for a general look, and then I go in with a bit of spray.
This is a perfect
lighting
example.
effect.
This one, believe it or not, this one looks so good. I was tempted to just never paint it, just leave it in black and white because I did such a good job on this. But I'm like, screw it, I'm painting it. I'm gonna.
Well, the
Hit it
black
with
and
a
white look
nice-
does look like a statue.
Uh-huh.
I was going to say hit it with a nice brass wash, and then
Maybe. Actually, if hold on a second, I'll get you the artwork real quick.
like filigree or what's that? The fucking green rust crap that copper roofs and brass get.
Patina.
Patina. Yeah, they make a special green for that.
And if you're patient, you can actually make the color yourself. I find, let's see here, where there it is. Shamrock green and prismatic bolt make a pretty decent.
Mhm.
It's not exact, but it's not bad.
Crap! I didn't keep the box. That's weird.
Yeah,
Thought I kept the box for this mini, but like, oh, you
for
know
the
what?
gray.
That's right. It didn't come with a box because it was a Kickstarter. That's why. Well, I'm getting another one. I'll show you the picture. The picture on the box of the painting and the painted miniature all have a lot of blues and oranges because it's called a Thunder Forge Titan. So it's got a lot of OSL.
Well, then the copper itself wouldn't be far off then because copper is very conductive.
Soy-based Germany sent you something. The Eagle Drazing, Justin.
What? No. But that was two
Okay.
different people that said my name and Eagle Tracing.
Okay. Sorry, I'm a little behind on the chat because it won't let me go. There we go. But yeah, I'll show you guys the picture. It's supposed to be lit up because he's a lightning based Titan kind of thing, and I'm gonna see what I can do, but I doubt it's gonna. Uh, I've never been able to master object source lighting. I try as I might with all the videos. I just can't get it right. There are a couple minis I've done that are okay, but yeah, I still need to work on it.
That's where I use a lot of the full zenithal or can or spray or the dry brush, airbrush based zenithal, because you can get an automatic source lighting just from that.
Airbrush is always good to have.
Yeah, I know. Rub it in,
And
guys.
I've gone over that story so many times of how I got that sucker, so I'm not going to do it again. I'm just still super proud of that moment.
Now I want to paint something else, man. Huh.
Well, you got something you could paint for the moment that wouldn't matter, like just one miniature you can paint?
Yeah, it's just one.
Oh, I forgot. You do the whole, you do the one color, spread it out as far as possible. I'm definitely very much, I have to get the miniature done. I have to see progress in my collection.
I've literally got 100 minis on my desk off to the sides here that are in various states of I don't want to paint this anymore. I'm terrible when it comes to that. I used to be more like that crafting where I would just focus on one mini, no matter and just finish it. But
Oh no, don't get me wrong. I usually have a few miniatures going at once, but I don't let it go out to that degree. Like there's like 100 miniatures. I'm trying to make sure I save every drop of paint. No, I focus on which ones I feel like it's okay. I feel like getting layers of paint on this one. Okay, now I feel like getting layers of paint on this one.
well, right now I've got uh, I've got like 5 apes from Planet of the Apes, actually like 10, and then I've got the mutants from underneath the Planet of the Apes. Then I've got some Bugmen, and I've got some like Starship crew members, and so I've got like little batches of fives that I could just do them, and what do they call it when you're painting troops, rank and file kind of thing.
Batch painting.
Thank you. I don't know why that skipped my mind.
Oh, something that crossed my mind earlier when I was thinking, actually, about my game book. Jackie made a map for the guys who made. I forgot what they were called.
No, he didn't make the map. He made the flags.
Oh, the flags.
So if you want flags, let me know. He only charges what $1,000 per 70. So he's getting his first check next week.
Well, that's an easy enough math to figure out. Let me go to my calculator real quick.
He spent the first month of last year's summer, right before he turned 15. He finished the project, so he's once again the youngest guy to work on a role playing game and get paid for it.
Actually, that's not bad. That's basically $15 a flag.
1,000 divided by 70.
Yep. 14.28571428857.
Really?
Yep.
I'll let him know. That's mind you, he could have been doing other stuff, summer vacation, but he wanted to do that because he's, he does that anyways for fun, draws flags and reads about flags. I mean, you point out any flag, and I bet you he can tell you what it is.
Well, I do want to have flags in my book at some point since they are important to the
certainly
concept of ships.
Yeah.
But I want to have a little bit more than just what I have for the primary cultures and at least a few lack of a term, subcultures that can have more than just
all right.
four maps.
Good. We're not going anywhere. We're going to be here for another hour and a half, maybe.
4 flags. Yeah, I know that wouldn't cost me that much, but I think having a variety of flags so players have a good idea
here's
of
the
what
thing.
that world has.
Here's the thing, man. He didn't want. He wasn't asking for money. He
Yeah.
just wanted to do it because he wanted to, be involved in such a project. Someone, finally, acknowledging his skill. What's up, Mike? And things like that. So if you asked him, he might do it for or trade or something. As long as you put his name and give him credit, that's what he was shooting for. So you'll run out of beer before then. How's it going, Mike? You ready for next week's game? I sure am. By the way, Mike, right after last week's game, the very next game I was in, my character also went down to 1 hit point. It's kind of a thing with me. If I'm in a game, I some people would say I play with like a 0 wisdom score. I just do the craziest dumb shit. Uh, there to have fun. Uh, so I charge into combat when I should probably hold back more often than not. But yeah, good times. So Bubba,
Yeah,
who are we gonna get to run men?
I have no idea. I gotta start running something for Wretched here soon. Anyway, I gotta run Wretched Bastards for them.
Yeah, well, depending on when it is, I might have to sneak in just so I can like play a wretched game. Uh,
I
so
was not a fan of their fantasy system, but I made an adventure for it, and I've never seen people excited about having a character maybe getting killed by flaming bags of shit. So that's what I'm gonna do. I made a whole flaming poo theme module.
okay, yeah, we got. Weren't we attacked by flaming poo as well, Mike, last week from the goblins over in OG's game? OGG, I'm not off grid. Um, it must be a wretched thing.
I don't know. I've had that thought in my head for a while. I've joked about it in the thing, but then I made a little side trek adventure with kobolds worshiping the Lord of Flies. So they set you on fire with the flame, like the sticky stinkweed and the fecal matter and some other stuff, and they make a very low burning flaming oil out of their fecal matter. But when it's done burning you, you have a higher chance of getting sick later. But it makes you smell so delicious to these robber flies as part of their symbiotic relationship. So you get beset by robber
Yikes!
flies. Yeah.
Real quick, Soy, what do you mean by this? I'm not sure what you mean by animals. I mean, I know what you mean by animals, but what you mean by this whole. If I have any suggestions for animals, let you know.
In recipes.
You blanked that out, huh, Mike? Yeah, it was a fun game. I kind of like that when everybody's like just down to the last freaking hit point.
Yeah. Where it could swing either way. It's always fun.
Yeah.
Is it going to be a TPK? Or we
Well,
going
like with the last game I ran with Justin, everybody. I mean, the magic user had the most hit points.
Yeah.
So
I
everybody
got a
was like,
ranger that
"It's
runs so
time to
bad.
leave." They rescued the Pegasus. They could have done some other stuff, but they decided
Yeah,
to go there.
I said we should stay and let some people die as long as they were in front of me.
Are you the
Mike,
guy that tries to get all the hirelings or retainers killed off so you have to split XP and treasure?
I don't think we're really doing that too much.
Yeah, well, with the NPCs, you are with
Yeah,
hireling and things like that, not so much because
we
as
don't really have
Justin,
many.
Well, they usually run away.
Yeah.
I was
They do
running.
usually run away.
I was running
As
a
a matter of
chaotic
fact,
thing.
Raven damn near crippled one of the NPCs. The bunch of them were running away, and she threw a dagger and damn near took his ass out.
Yeah, I was okay with that.
Yep.
I said we should eat him,
There you
but
go.
this guy won't let me. This guy won't let me eat fucking cowards. He won't let me eat green monkeys. He won't let me eat blink dogs. He won't let me eat weird, nasty smelling crab creatures. He
I was
won't
running
let me eat cowards.
I was running a chaos themed barrel maze, and they was all playing chaotic characters, and that's what they were doing. All their minions, when the minions would get killed, if they couldn't animate them or bury them in shallow graves to animate them later, they fed them to their orcs, or they ate their orcs and goblin minions. So
Hey, Soy, can you draw us a Raven for our friend Raven? She's looking for a to make a logo for her channel. Uh,
dude, you gotta have
and
the
I'll check
Raven
out the
in front of a
image in
dream
just a
catcher
second.
for her.
Let me go over to Discord and see what you sent.
But yeah, Justin. It sounds like Justin is want to play maybe a chef from my
Oh, that's
game.
really good.
Cannibal
No.
Tom. Just play a wizard, man, and then polymorph stuff. It was like, I'm in the mood for chicken.
I don't think he will. Off grid, I think he's too much of a coward of a game master to let me eat other PCs.
People jerky. He was playing
People
heroic
jerky.
game, bro.
Best jerky.
You want to play a heroic game versus a bunch of douchey lunatics, right?
I ran
Hey, I never said I wasn't heroic. I said I was a cannibal.
Heroic cannibal.
Those things aren't mutually exclusive.
Yes, they are.
I ran a 20-year
You
long
say,
evil
not
campaign.
me.
Bubba, I ran a more than 20-year long evil campaign.
Yeah.
So I know a thing or two about doing that. It's just it's got to be with the right people, and it does taint your soul a bit to run too much of that dark crap for too long, and it's one of those things where you've got to have the right people who are not just going to, you know, be retarded about it and just do evil for the sake of evil every
Yeah,
chance.
insanity.
Like every action has to be evil.
Well,
You've got
cartoonish evil. We call that
yeah,
cartoonish evil instead of
like
subliminal.
yeah, evil people do try to actually get away with their stuff, not just oh well, screw it. Now I guess we got to burn down another town. Well, you're gonna die. The town's gonna win. You know what I mean? Unless you're like really careful about it and no one ever sees you do it, and then
Because
that's
we
not
need
all
more
that.
blood for the blood god. I guess it
You know,
depends on the evil you're playing. If you're playing cartoonish blood for the blood god, I worship the Lord of Slaughter. Therefore, every act of slaughter is rejoicing in his name. I can see that. But if you're playing someone lawful evil or very like set, where you want to subvert everything and then make all the good people evil without them knowing it,
yeah,
that's a whole different thing. Like you're helping people organize the search for the missing children in the city, but at the same time, you're the one doing it and you're feeding it to the people that are looking for the children.
yeah. That picture of the eagle or the hawk was really good, Jeremy. Yeah. I'm tired of wizards. I've looked at the games. I've seen how they're run, and so many of the mechanics and whatnot are just it's not even worth my time. I just don't care. There's so many other games. I was reading a game last night that Justin sent me, and I'm like, this is just that other game, BX or whatever, with some other. It's literally just, these days that you could literally trace the mechanics. This is from this game. This is from this game, word for word, just shoved together.
And you know what? Like that's one of the things I'm so sick and tired of. And the one we're working on, like I was looking around after I wrote my thing. I even amended my conversation with ChatGPT because I used it to scour the internet um, to our working document. And
And
it looks like there's no game that uses a single D10.
no,
That there's none
no.
that I could find. That there are like as its only die mechanic.
Skirmish war games. There are a few
Yes, but
skirmish
I'm
Maybe,
war
not
games.
talking about a skirmish war game. I'm talking about a role playing game, right?
and I've been
Um,
thinking about it for decades. I mean, if you want,
So,
easy like conversion to real world math, like I always talk about percentile games. That's how I was taught in the real world to evaluate situations. What are your chances? Well, you don't think it's 2 and 6. You think it's 20 or 30 or 50% success
well,
rates.
you don't even think in full percentiles. You think I have a 1% or a 4% or like
Uh huh.
out of 10. What do you think you can do from that? You know, you don't rate hot chicks out of 100. You rate them out of 10,
Yep. Yep.
right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Which but that's still a base. You can extrapolate a percentile system out of it. Ten's 100, a
Yes.
one's a 10. Okay, cool. Do you need the fiddly numbers in between? Maybe, but if you want it fast, then you don't need that. You know what I mean? Um,
Mm-hmm.
and that's one thing we want is to if there are any actual die rolling mechanics that need to be
Mm-hmm.
or things like that need to be resolved, make it quick so it takes as little away from getting back to the words, what you're talking about, the situation, uh get on with the actual,
Game.
yeah, or story,
Yeah.
that's being, that's emerging from,
Unfolded.
yeah,
Yeah.
because that's what it should be about most of the time. I understand, even in my D&D game, there's a mixture of people that want different things, which
And other people are wrong. Like it's just that.
that seems to
uh,
be the way we do things now, isn't it? Here's how it
Yeah.
look good, and if you don't agree, fuck you, you're wrong. And here's a
and,
50-minute
You
video.
put a whole video out.
and I
You
was
put
thinking
a
about
whole.
this last night. Bubba, you could probably help me. I don't think I'm an OSR guy.
I am an OSR guy, so I'm
If
not
from
sure
my
thing.
understanding, um, if I'm going to play a game and it's going to be a fantasy game, it's going to be D&D, or there's another game that doesn't exist yet. Otherwise, I'm not interested. To be honest, most of the time, I'm not even interested in playing a fantasy game. I'd rather play a western, a sci-fi, a horror game, anything but fantasy. Currently, and I've been that way the whole time I've been on YouTube. That's the way I've felt. I don't get me wrong. I dig fantasy stuff. I'm reading a fantasy novel. I like that stuff, but I've done so much of it that I'm kind of just burnt, like maybe permanently burnt.
Yeah, I think
Uh,
a lot of people are burnt, but I think they're wanting to change everything. Well, change perceptions are moving over to window to get more opportunities for what they want to do, which I think
Yeah.
is kind of backwards. If it's good and you just do it, other people be interested. So what's
Hmm.
and
what
going
I was
back
getting
to
at though is
at the
isn't
same
OS isn't OSR everything but the original old school games? It's like all the
TSR
new.
era, in my opinion.
It's
The
what?
80s. I think the TSR era, and that would include things like Boot Hill and
Okay,
stuff.
because I was under the impression it's like uh, uh,
It
everything but that. It's like all these new retro clones.
well the problem with so
Let's go
much of
about
OSR
recapturing.
is the problem with so much of OSR is it's like 10,000 copies of those like first 5 edition like because there's edition separations, right? Like
White Box,
AD&D
AD&D,
and
second
BX.
edition,
Yeah.
BX, and whatever the other one was. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so it's like 5 or 6. It's like everyone just reprinting those same games over and over and over again with
Hey, what's
like
up, Raven?
subtle house rule at uh ads Or like, I removed this one thing. I added this sub mechanic. Here, read my campaign. 500 pages. Put it on your bookshelf just to make it bigger. Uh, which is like fine, I guess, but there's no real innovation. Like the one I sent you, that there's the whole kerfuffle about with pundit the douche. Uh,
I think it's funny.
no, the guy is just the guy's a fucking liberal.
Yeah.
I don't know him from Adam. Don't care. But
Yeah.
if he's going after people I like, saying
Well,
things that aren't
It's
true,
funny.
then
I get props to anybody who makes me laugh. So if they're busting on each other and I'm watching it and I can get a chuckle out of it, I'll award XP on Twitter to who I think's making the funniest point. Whoever's
yeah,
busting
but
nice.
his
I don't
through.
think he makes funny
But I don't like
points.
historicals. I don't like his historical. I don't like historicals
All right,
for relation.
Raven.
Yeah.
I knew I liked you for a reason. Yeah. See, if I was going to write anything, it's going to be settings. The boy and I are working on a project which is uh, system agnostic systems or system agnostic settings. Excuse me, where it's just a
Yeah.
world and there's no numbers, there's no rules. This is just the world. If you want to use it, cool. Here you go. Um, because like especially if you're playing like a sci-fi game, you need a cool
Mhm.
world to go to, especially like when you like miss jump, something happens, the hyperdrive malfunctions, and now they're orbiting this world that they know nothing about. It's not on the maps. Cool, right? We got to land and get some air and water and check it out, and then who knows what kind of weirdness will ensue. Because I thought OSR was actually like a renaissance or revival by
Right.
playing the new games like what are some of the ones besides Shadow Dark, uh, Adventure Conquer King, things like that are basically another game with the numbers filed off and a couple of
Yeah.
rules swapped from another game. I'm like, you didn't do
Yeah.
anything all that creative. You all you did was go in and make the game play the way you want it to play versus
Mhm.
giving me anything of any substance in the way of like a new world, new races, new professions. Maybe your world's got
New
these.
civilizations, new
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
new frontiers to
The
boldly
whole
go where
intro to
no man
Star
has gone
Trek.
before.
Right, right. I want to see that. That was one of the things I liked about Arduin so much because they were the first people to have slavers and Kurtzians or Courtsians and technos and rune weavers and rune singers and all these professions that none of the other games would even come near touching. And to this day, they still think of some of those professions and they lose their freaking minds on the idea that you could play a character called a techno who at a certain level can pretty much just start making laser guns.
Yeah.
No,
So
you'll break my game. Your game's already broken, dude. You didn't know that, but it is. They're all broken.
it's
You know.
supposed to be. If you're not, if your game isn't got a subtle hint of broken to it, it's got nowhere for the players to explore.
Yeah,
Uh,
I don't care. If I'm gonna play a fantasy game, I'm gonna play one I already have. You know what I mean? I've played Castles and Crusades, and it's watered down AD&D to the point where it's kind of a crap system. Adventure Conquer King, it's just BX with a couple of modifications, changing things, make it a little bit more appealing to certain folks. But you know, okay, cool. But you could have just done that with BX and just did your own little bit of work, and here you go.
I
Um,
understand reproducing them as prettier packages. Like I
better
understand. Like,
layout, blah blah blah.
yeah,
Sure, but
I understand that, but
I kind of dig going through old books and seeing like crappy artwork and horrible layout and things like that because
we're
that's
not
what we
doing
do.
that. It's against my fucking style guide. I got a style guide. It's back here somewhere in this
But back
void.
back in those days, that's all they could
My,
do. It's not
my
because they
style
were
guide is no
crap,
fucking crap, man.
right, Jeff. That's all they could do. That's all they could afford. That's all that was technically feasible in the print world or what have you, on the shoestring budgets,
Yeah.
they never dreamed in a million years the hobby would turn into what it's become.
Yeah.
So reading these old books that were like, like secretly handed, like propaganda pamphlets and manifestos in dark alleyways,
Now,
that's the way it
I'm
was
not
back
against
in the day.
manifestos. If you want to turn the book into a manifesto, as long as we get Bubba as our copywriter.
Raven, no, what
Bubba's like, what the
Venger's
fuck is
biggest
going on here?
problem was was not really any of that. It was uh, so many people kind of dogpiled on him to make it so he couldn't do any of the things that he wanted to do in a bigger fashion. His work was awesome, still is. His writing was hysterical. His ideas were willing to take anything from anywhere and just mix it up and see what happens. Not afraid to be a little risque or pornographic in some cases. It was the Twitterati mobs that were going after him that made it hard for him to succeed. He needed to,
Yeah.
cultivate a large group of people who were on board with his style and spread it to those people and their friends, uh, and it would have done better. And not store cases of hardback books in his basement. If he had gone print on demand from the very beginning, I think he would have done a lot better. And since that's what he's going to do now,
It would have been a
um,
Well,
loss. That's a margin loss when you have unsold product.
yeah,
like this is my policy, and I think Shadow's going along with me. Is you have your generic
Genre.
print on demand soft cover, which sells as cheap as you can get it, so it moves as fast as you can.
yep,
And then when there's enough community buying and playing your game, you can do a Kickstarter for a premium hardcover, beautiful piece, maybe like a ribbon or two, gold
bookmark,
foil, all that shit.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. Get
but
it
once
out
the
there, and
community's
because
there,
that's what happened with the company I'm working for, Arduin. It started out as underground as you can get. It was literally the first people to be sued by TSR. Only to later on, make friends with them before Gygax died, and get some sort of support. And they were underground, spread the word as cheaply as possible, and now, mind you, it's many decades later that they're going to full hardcover. I mean, they've had a couple of hardcover books in the past, but
yeah,
it's taken a while to build up exactly what you said. Gonzo is really difficult for a lot of people to wrap their head around it, and Venger did a really no worries crafting. Venger did a really good discourse in his Kickstarter thing that I'm going to try and circulate that defines what Gonzo is. A lot of people think
mhm, mhm.
it's a bad thing, but if you liked,
It can be,
it can be
it can be.
ridiculous. It could be
It
the
can get to a
worst
point
game
where
you've ever. It could be the worst game you've ever played. If you aren't into mixing genres and mixing styles and just whatever happens is cool.
Yeah,
If you expect Tolkien all the way or
yeah.
historical
I think
accuracy,
Gonzo is like salt. You need to sprinkle it in there, but you don't want it as a main flavor, right? Like
Gonzo is more like a
uh,
vegetable stew. What vegetables do you want in the stew? If you don't like this vegetable, you don't put it in.
yeah,
But if
but
you like
I
if you
think
like
you know
carrots,
what
Gonzo
I
is more
mean.
wiser than eyeball in my suit.
Yeah.
right. You
But
are not wrong. That is very good.
yeah,
It's
but
excellent, awesome, Bubba.
back to like why I always say like because this is still on my train of thought. Why I always say Amazon and not Drive Through or Lulu or any of those places. To those of you that haven't heard this conversation, is there are more people looking for RPGs right now on Amazon than know all those platforms together even exist.
Yeah, because they just don't know that those places are a thing, so they go to the main place.
Yeah,
Like the equivalent of Walmart or B Dalton Books or Barnes and Noble. They're going there looking for it because it's
yeah.
everywhere, and that makes absolute perfect sense.
And
Um,
I'll be honest with you. Role playing games are actually a thin picking on Amazon,
Yeah.
and they still have more people looking for stuff there
I
than
brought that up to Miguel, and he didn't really
yeah.
respond to it about using
And
Amazon.
the only thing is you can't do nudity on the cover of your book
Well,
unless it's a
that
photo
knocks
book.
him out because they're
But
gonna put the tentacle pussy right on the cover first chance they get.
he could do like the Amazon cover only. You know what I mean?
mhm.
And thus making the other
It's not
ones a
their nature.
collector's item.
Yeah.
It's not their nature.
Well, he's taken some suggestions from the Peanut Gallery, and I wish him well. I also um, think he'll do better. Realizing that he does have to uh, compromise a little bit. When you're in the mindset you're going to just do it your way is going to fail
Mhm.
because
Now,
there's everybody against you.
You just have to adjust your expectations.
Hmm.
mhm.
I've done my whole life my
Yeah,
way.
I'm
For the
not
most
doing tentacles. I mean, I'll do tentacles in my game. Hell, I got some tentacles right here,
part, been a
but
rough.
I'm not eating them.
Calamari is great, man.
It's
Oh
too
yeah,
late.
his conventions are not going anywhere, dude. That's on my bucket list. If I don't get to game with him one time in my life, I will come back and just haunt his conventions.
Mhm.
Um,
I should be there next year.
I doubt anybody would notice, but uh,
I was talking about I'm supposed to go the last two, and I was complaining about it to the wife because it got canceled on me this year. I had planned to go, had everything set up, and something came up with the
yeah,
wife.
off
So
grid. Gonzo is more like a anything goes. I mean, because you could run a Gonzo game in use Tolkien's Middle Earth, but you could Gonzoify it.
Yeah,
It's all
uh,
about letting you know.
Gonzo Middle Earth. Instead of receiving Sting, he receives a laser blaster.
Mhm.
That's it.
It's really for the start is mixing genres to I guess create your own world.
Yeah.
Like
I hate that
one of
sometimes.
my worlds. It started out as a fantasy world, but now it's more of a fantasy western world because technology and things like that got it to that point. And eventually it's going to roll into an industrial revolutionary society. But I'm kind of trying to hold that back, mostly by not running that world. Um, but yeah, we need
Bubba's
more.
like
We
laser
need more.
blaster
We
cringe.
we need more
I saw that,
settings.
man.
Because it's funny how every game barely has a setting of its own. You know what I mean? And so you're
Or if
giving
they do, they're retarded.
your game may be
Nowhere great
awesome. Your game may be one of
Right.
the greatest games ever written, but if it doesn't have a world of its own to show it off, because your world shows off the game more than your flashy mechanics or your cool rules and
Brian,
stuff.
Weird World War II.
What's up, Brian? We were just talking about you, man. Where you been?
And they were actually nice things.
Yeah.
I was shocked.
Mm.
You okay, Bubba?
Yeah.
Having a heart attack?
No, not
God's
today.
Yeah, I like that Godzo. That's funny because it doesn't have to be ridiculous. I mean, think about like Thunder the Barbarian. That was really Gonzo. Pirates of Darkwater, very Gonzo. Um,
Mm-hmm. Gonzo
you,
works. It's just
even what was even Gonzo if you think about it? Original Star Trek. You had all these sci-fi characters visiting these new worlds that were often other worlds that were you know the Roaring Twenties or World War II or ancient Rome. You mix the genre,
mm-hmm.
but they did it in a subtle way to where it didn't seem like what you'd expect from a Gonzo game. But Dark Sun was Gonzo, Ravenloft was Gonzo. I don't know jack or squat about Mystara. Um,
That's a core system. That's the core Tibet.
but yeah,
So
I want to see new worlds, new places. Uh, that's what it's really
Yeah,
all about. If you
I'll
think
be
about
honest with you. I think the biggest thing that kills 5e for a lot of the old school guys is that it's just such a homogenous. What's the fucking word I'm trying to think of? Like the butter.
hodgepodge,
No.
there's no class protection. There's no niche protection in 5e.
No, it's this fucking mechanic shit. But how everything has been folded into the same world. There's no, there's no different
Corporate IP.
settings or
Right. They do
what
homogeny.
that because of the corporate IP.
homogeny. Yeah,
Homogenous.
yeah, homogenous. Yeah, the whole world has become so homogenous that it's bland, right? It's like just a piece of bread. There's not even butter on it.
Grey goo.
Yeah,
Right.
Mhm.
it's
And
it's
you know
so
what's
great.
They could have
you
very
know what
easily had
what's
their core system and then have setting A, setting B, setting 3, setting whatever,
And every time
and then redo the stuff. I mean,
and every time they hype up that they're going to bring that stuff back, they just fold it into the all encompassing federation of the Forgotten Realms instead of
they don't believe in
in
borders,
diversity.
or
They,
yeah,
they
they
don't
don't actually
they
believe in
don't believe in
actual,
actual diversity.
right. They want everything to be Dorklandia.
Yeah,
They want everything to be fucking Portland. These people are not capable of that kind of
it's like the paint analogy I made earlier. They pour everything into the same fucking pot and call it fucking diversity.
right. They had to go with the stuff that they like the most. And as a,
Yeah.
as a
Haha,
small
I
kid.
tricked you guys. I heard everything you said, and that includes all the nasty things you said about me.
Okay.
Nobody said anything about you, bro. We forgot you were here.
Wait, you left?
Oh,
that's
Bubba,
fucked up. You beat me to it, man.
Bubba, Bubba, you got your first shirt idea. Go make yourself a fucking T Public store
I got a T Public store, I think. I got a Redbubble for sure.
and put that on there. What, you left?
You know
Explanation.
what? You know what's fucked up about? I realized earlier, like yesterday, I guess,
Shit.
with Wizards of the Coast or whatever. If they actually leaned into, like, think about it, they've got more races than any other game, right?
Hmm.
If they lean to the actual differences and how this race is better at this and this race is better at that, they would have had an actual great game. If you think about it,
Well,
We're doing that
diversity,
more.
right?
Mhm.
It's fucking diversity. Like I'm using their language intentionally, uh, because we all know the hypocrisy of
What's up,
their
Mercurius?
ideology is fucking diversity is how well we can destroy the uniqueness of people.
Well, yeah, bringing everybody, to the absolute same outcome. Everybody's got to end with the same amount of brownie points at the end. Bullshit. That's
Equity, not
Well,
quality.
it's not even the same amount. They got to be allocated the exact same way.
Right.
Right? Like you could have the same amount of brownie points divided in different piles, but even that is not allowed in their world.
that's what was great about original D&D. You could, especially that classic picture in the player's handbook, Bubba, with the elf and the half elf and the human and the half orc all standing in the player's handbook to give you an idea, kind of like their height. That one picture. If you made up that party right then and there, right,
Mm.
the human, the elf, the half elf. I don't know if the dwarf or the gnome are in there, but the half orc. You know, each one of them by their because they get like a little bonus here on one stat or and a minus on another or something like that. Uh, you'd have like you could sort of derive what would be the best profession to run from that race, and then you could make that party, and each character would have their own built-in thing that they were like really good at
Hmm.
that would make them like a really well oiled machine of a team instead of uh, everybody now like playing against type because anybody can be anything,
Yeah. Now,
and then you end up with the exact opposite of that. You have
like,
like the worst team possible, but they have to
oh,
succeed because the game's about them.
it's like an odd couple or strange bunch or whatever,
Yeah,
Dirty Dozen kind of
Bunch
situation.
of
which is what you
general
should
looking
have, where you've got
officers.
this team that's greater than the sum of their parts, but instead you get this team or party that only survives because of plot armor.
Hmm. Now, I have no problem where playing a game where everyone's pretty much got the same stats, as long as there are like mechanics to insist on
Exactly, off grid.
uh, character development working in different ways. I gotta take this.
What's up, Nefarious? Yeah, that's why I like Arduin so much, because there are characters that you look at this race like, well, they can only be a couple of things, but they're great at those things. You try to force them into some other niche because I want to play against type, you're gonna die. I mean, you're gonna die in the first game, and you'll learn your lesson hopefully and never do that again or get booted from the group. There are things that are better at certain things than other things. Lean
Yeah.
into that as opposed to playing against type, and because I want this, well, go over there. They're looking for you. Where's there? I don't know. It's not here. Just go over there. Lean into what you're good at, and you'll succeed. If you constantly try to rail against everything, everything's going to beat the shit out of you and crap on you and flush you down the toilet.
But Bo has or Brian has embraced the ball gag. Do you not see?
Uh-huh.
Behind them.
I'm not even going to highlight that because everybody here can read that. No, I'll highlight it. What the hell? Um,
Fuck it.
but it's just it's so dumb.
Well,
I,
like I said, as long as there's stable mechanics on reinforcing character, uh, character action in the game, I really don't care what the other stats are. Like you can all have the same strength, the same dex, the same
right, but I mean,
intelligence,
if you think
but
about
as long as you're like okay, I'm playing an orc. It doesn't matter that I've got a 9 intelligence like everyone else or whatever the number is in the party. Uh, I'm still going to be impulsive with my plans and things like that, right? Or whatever. Uh,
right, but it
where the elf is going to be more cunning or whatever the fucking character profiles in your world are.
my dog is such a weirdo.
I think I'm getting my point across.
Kind
Am I,
of.
I don't know. The
I almost,
lower panel is dead here.
I'm tired, man. Who's listening?
Bubba doesn't work in the after dark.
yeah.
I'm usually
I
quiet
don't
as
mess with
possible, but
plastic. You never
He's
want
a
to be able
morning
too noisy.
person.
Yeah,
I appreciate you coming by, though, Bubba.
yeah.
It's like I used to think that like the mental stats shouldn't even be on your sheet because when it boils down to you as a person. If you're not a bright guy, forcing you to try to play a bright guy could be damn near impossible. You know what I mean?
mm.
I think it's supposed to be like whatever stupid idea you come up with, it's easier for you to execute it.
Hmm.
Right? Like, I want to get through that door. Well, I've got a smart plan to get through that door. I'm going to execute it. You don't actually have to describe the smart plan.
Yeah, but I mean, let's face it. The whole getting through a door. You got a hammer, you got an axe. You're getting through the door.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. Like,
Right, right. But then Gygax had to throw in all those freaking silly traps and shit, which never existed, at any sort of great level in actual history. You know what I mean? There were some, but
Yeah,
not like the
Egyptians
fantasy
trapped
D
the
and D
hell out of
worlds.
their tombs, as did the Greeks.
Right, but like during the Middle Ages, not so much.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was it
Well,
was locked and bound, and it would take you a half hour to chop through it. And by then, you had 40 men at arms
Well,
there
around.
there
was
were
a time that
traps.
royalty put their crypts in the bottom of their castles.
Right, but I mean like every door in the castle before you get there.
Yeah,
Now
but it's
you've got to.
fortification. I mean, you don't need to trap every room in a fortification. You have an army.
Yes.
Murder holes.
But it's become absurd, right? Like you don't have. I don't care what you're saying. You don't have the spiked floor panel in a fucking outpost in the middle of
Are
nowhere.
you playing a simulation or are you playing a fantasy game? Because in the pulps you had all that weird shit.
Yeah, but like I'm saying, that stuff was ridiculous in the pulps too.
Yeah. I'm playing a
Like,
fantasy.
that takes me out
I'm
of a
not playing a
story.
simulation.
Hey, don't you be bagging on my pulps, man. Well, no. What I'm getting at though is the mindset that you absolutely have to have a thief. You know,
It
because
wasn't
you
included
have to
originally for a
because you have
reason.
to check every door for
You
traps.
don't. You don't.
Yeah.
You don't have to check every door. And I follow philosophy of not one trap per 8 encounters max. Otherwise, your game will crawl to a absolute standstill due to
Mhm.
character player paranoia. Unless you're in a thing that it's all traps, and then that's the day the thief or your
Exactly. I mean,
engineer goes to shine. Oh, I got this, guys. We're going to take our
Yeah.
time.
Well, okay. I could see that
exactly.
maybe if you're like going up against the paranoid right wing fantasy retard.
Or
Because
or the mad wizard.
lefties don't do that. They have cat farms like Raven.
The other Raven.
Yeah,
The
yeah, yeah.
more you
Not you,
do weird
Raven.
shit like that and go slow in a dungeon, the more chance you give people to know you're there, and then you have the living dungeon react to you and come after you. So a guy going in a kobold thing or whatever, and they're taking a turn to 30 turns in a hall while throwing stuff down the hall is going to get flanked, set
Yes,
on
but that's not a
fire, and
trap.
probably murdered.
That's a combat, right? If there are kobolds throwing things at you, that's not magically
Well,
electrified door or spiked trap in the floor
Well, those
or
are not too common though, unless you're in a
giant boulder coming down a hallway because we watched Indiana Jones this week.
right, or weird stuff in a dungeon that's a weird magical trap that is Gonzo. My favorite is always having the idiot traps, like
this is fucking
wheel and
awesome.
blow, and I'm making one right now, and I'm going to put a bunch of traps in it. And the first two, I'm going to put like 3 traps in one trap that you plainly see, and then later on, I'm going to put windows in a dungeon room so you can go around the door. But obviously, the window is a guillotine trap. I mean, they're idiot traps for foolish people. But you have them. They're fun because they make you players think rather than just swing your sword at everything all the time. So you want stuff like that to change stuff up to make it fun and engaging. I'm not talking puzzles because people get weird about puzzles, man. I've seen games just come to a. Can I just make an intelligence check? I mean,
Yeah, I've played
interactive.
video games that tried pulling that crap on me. The game Fable, there was a puzzle in it. I'm like, I even went online, looked on YouTube. I'm like, I can't do it. I'm done. Tossed the game,
Puzzles,
sold it.
puzzles. Like I could see puzzles in games
Yeah, I
if
put
they're
hints in there.
totally elective. Like, oh, we came into town and they're having a fair, and there's like Puzzle Alley. We could win some prizes or some shit. You can have some fun doing that, and then have the puzzles written down on a piece of paper that you pass around to the party, and they can just like figure them out as they're doing shit.
I'm not sure what game you're talking about. I'm in one of Bloodworth's games right now. Yes,
But
honey traps are the best.
if the puzzle is required for you to like
Greed traps.
fulfill an objective,
Even a
no.
Then
bottle.
you got to seed enough clues to
The
give them
clues
the
have to be
opportunity to figure it out.
classic.
And that's the hard
sort of
part.
game design is if you're going to have something that is a bottleneck, then the things that are needed to overcome it are provided in the leading up to it, and foreshadowing in the form of cryptic riddles and
Yeah,
stuff. If your party pays
fucking
attention, some people are just too stupid.
Chekhov's gun. You need to Chekhov's gun your goddamn puzzles.
Yeah, or it's a hint, or it's a bonus room.
Yeah.
Now, I think unpassable puzzles are bonus rooms. If you get it and you figure it out, you got a bonus. Otherwise, it's not essential to the end of the game. It is a cool
Right.
thing.
Yeah, a lot of
You could put a puzzle in a tavern, right? Like you used to see that a lot in fucking taverns where they'd have like a puzzle or something you could do. You know, like, hey, can you get this bottle of this pint of beer upside down, and if you do so, you'll win this bag of crisps or whatever, right? You know that kind of thing. Or you never seen that shit?
I've done games like that.
yeah. Well, my old man used to have a lot of back in the I want to say 40s and 50s. There were a lot of different puzzle games. You know, self-contained little thing. You had to move the ring through the thing or whatever. That were really popular back then, and I managed to do okay with some of them, but you've got to. I think what happened was a lot of video games started putting them in there, and in video games you can see everything about the puzzle. You know, it's all right there in front of you, and when you're trying to describe it, a lot of players can just kind of just miss the what could easily be a very easy solution.
A puzzle requires an illustration, in my opinion. Theater
Something.
design works for most things, but when it's a puzzle, there should be an illustration or a handout at your table.
Yeah,
Or if you have a
otherwise
physical puzzle, you can just put it down and say, solve that.
We've done that with anagrams and stuff.
Yeah.
Riddles is the most basic puzzle because it goes back to the Sphinx and Golem and all that.
Don't make it a Rubik's Cube, you know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, keep it simple.
I'm serious. I have been in games where the puzzle was that freaking complicated. I'm like, I'm out. I guess we're going back. We're done with this place because, me and the rest of the guys was like, we're just not getting it, dude. We're not getting it. And then the like you said, the make an intelligence check. No. The clues were there. We failed. We failed the intelligence.
You do have a generation of gamers who want to simply drop a die. I think that comes from like 3E4. They just want to drop a die. I need to do my perception. I need to do blah, blah, blah. I despise any form of perception mechanic in a game. It's lazy. You describe and they pick up on it or they don't.
Yeah. Exactly, Brian. I think that, a lot of times, some of these traps would cost so much in manpower and resources to build. Like the classic 10-foot block that drops and seals the tunnel.
Well, balancing it, and then how the fuck do you get that back up?
How do you engineer that kind of crap? You know what I mean? Without magic.
Oh yeah.
And if you're going to just throw magic, then a dispel magic. Okay, it's gone. The block's gone.
Well, I could see, like Bubba said, counterweights, right? Like it's attached on a chain to another block.
Yeah, the Egyptians really did that stuff.
And then you step on something and the chain lets go or whatever. But then it's blocking off the corridor to your... Like, the Egyptians did that stuff, yes.
They did,
but they never intended to undo that stuff when it triggered.
They're meant to be permanent. That's a death trap dungeon. Yeah,
because that whole roll to solve just kind of defeats all the work you put into it. You know what I mean?
You gotta know your players.
Why not even bother? Seeding 8 different clues throughout 8 different rooms, and now you've got all the pieces.
That's one of the things I'd say is never have that many. 3. 3 is your fucking top.
Even 3, and they get them all, and they still can't figure it out. And now you give them a roll to solve. It's like, no, now you need to take those clues back to somebody else. But I got a 20. Fucking like.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. I got 20.
I didn't call for a roll, so you threw a 20 away.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Oh, I'm that way too. If I don't call for the roll, you're gonna re-roll it. Right. It's ridiculous. People just like dropping dice. Dude. They get excited.
I know, but
that's when you're playing your player and not your character.
yeah, and you know, uh, I honestly, what was that game? Was it Dragon Dice or something like that?
I
That I
love
think
empty rooms. Empty
what
rooms are the best, dude.
Yeah.
I think that's what started it all. It was that game Dragon Dice with the collectible dice in like booster packs or some shit.
That's what
Back
killed DSR. Let's be honest. The Dragon Dice fiasco is what finally bankrupted them.
yeah, you sure wasn't
No, it
Spellfire?
was.
They had so much of that in warehouses, dude. They doubled
It
down
was
on that.
Oh, I
every
know, Mike.
single fucking game.
I'm appreciating it.
A lot of their what they were doing near the end was over ordering
Yeah.
books.
They did that with Dragon Dice hugely.
They were over. Well, they've been doing it for over a decade.
It was the
over
final.
ordering.
It was the final nail in the coffin, dude. It was the final nail in the coffin.
Well, they were using it as like a backdoor loan from their publishers by over ordering and having these things stay in warehouses.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Because it was money on the books, but and it's like it got to the point where the publishing houses were literally saying, "We're not a bank. We're not here to lend you money.
Yeah.
You got to be like actually trying to sell this crap." And I was like,
But what I was getting at though is the Dragon Dice for me seemed like that was the beginning of people wanting to just roll a die for to solve anything
Yeah.
or everything, and not only that, but like it also seemed it was about that time that dice pools started becoming a thing. It's like let's roll as many dice as we can,
that's once again you're like that meta currency. That kind of stuff is all about playing the player and not playing the character, right? It's like
I'm playing a game, a little bit of both, bro. Don't too
Yeah.
much on one sucks the fun of it. Too much on the other sucks the fun of it. You gotta find that sweet spot.
It's got to be entertaining, but you
Let me explain to you.
like
You gotta find that sweet spot. I'm just saying.
yeah,
never played
two in the pink,
Spellfire,
one in the stink.
but I
get you,
just
bro.
thought it was around the same time. Yeah.
Well, that mentality is easy to cultivate, right?
Yeah, it's the the fear of missing out, the next new shiny thing come down the road. Oh look, I've got this, you don't, kind of mentality. We didn't need any of that. I mean, when we all first started playing it, we were lucky to have the books.
I
and
liked
have them.
Spellfire.
God, I sound like freaking, get off my lawn guy. But we were so much more appreciative of our imaginations. That was better than anything else that would come down the road, unless you were like a miniatures guy, or the wet spot.
Yeah, I've been making the argument that the increase in production value has really taken away from the magic.
Oh, you're not wrong at all. You're absolutely not wrong at all.
Well,
I still to this
focus
day
on that and not.
I don't think it's just
It's really good.
I don't think it's the production value on its own. It's also the thickness of everything.
Yeah, it's
right?
also increased cost.
Yeah.
If you go for that many illustrations, you could actually reduce that damn page count by taking away a lot of unnecessary artwork. But people kind of want artwork, but it does sometimes, and some of that layout is kind of ridiculous of making it harder and harder to read.
Yes, he is. He is a very old grognard. I mean, I still go through the original white box, and I'm amazed at how little artwork there is in it.
No,
you didn't need it.
Do you have it at hand?
Yeah.
Okay, go grab the core rulebook right now.
For which one?
You said the white box.
Yeah, white box is pretty minimal, but it did have a lot of. Yeah, it still had illustrations in it.
Yeah.
Charts are wonky, but
I just want to know the page number of the core booklet for the game.
Okay, there was 3 for the original.
Yes, I know, but like
I'll
like
just break out Man
book.
of Magic or whatever it was.
Man of Magic probably best one. That's the thickest one.
Yeah. But like one of them's a player handbook, one of them's
one's a monster book, a Monsters and Treasure,
and the other one's like the core rule book, right?
No, The one is like Overland and Dungeons and stuff. The core
Yeah.
rulebook is essentially Men and Magic. It
Okay,
tells you
yeah.
everything from combat and it tells you everything.
What's the
34,
page count?
34.
34. Okay,
34.
so let's double that at 68 pages. It's not 300.
Nope. And mind you, it's
So if we doubled it with every doubled page being just fucking art, just full page artwork on the double that I give it, it's still not 300
there are
pages.
tons and
It's not
tons
even
of
100 pages.
there are tons and tons of pages with no artwork back to back in here.
Yes.
And sometimes the artwork is, like this one, the Barbarian. Okay, I can do better. And I'm not that good.
It doesn't
Jackie
matter
can
to the
do.
quality, right? Like
No,
I'm
I mean
saying,
it's just the bare minimums of art to have something there. I mean, sometimes you're just like, really? I mean, this is shit. This is absolute shit artwork. I mean, literally, um, an eighth grader could do better.
the quality doesn't matter.
And the quantity is not that much. It's just
Yeah.
there to give a little bit of flavor. But you're right, you didn't need any of that.
Didn't need it.
34 pages.
34. But like I
And
said,
the other books are actually thinner, I believe.
like
So-
I said, if they
That's complete
doubled it, and that doubled amount was just art, it's still smaller than.
Cal, that's great. Well, I mean, did they actually have copy shops
Dumber.
back then? They had their diners and greasy spoons that served
Simulate.
coffee, but I don't even think soy was invented back then.
And soy. Yeah.
White box is about 150 pages total.
That's true.
Yeah.
And chainmail, okay, which I can't find my copy of chainmail. Still irritates the shit out of me. But Cal says,
Did it
"Oh,
have
we
any,
were dumber
scale
back then
pictures
and
in
hadn't
it?
learned to simulate a coffee
Bring
shop."
it up on screen.
Sorry.
Yeah.
And he also says his white box was $10 and 77.
The dirty is bloat, man.
So Shadow, your copy of Chainmail, does it have any risque pictures in it?
No,
Oh.
Oh,
but my
I was gonna say,
Arduin,
if
my
it
Arduin
does, Shadow.
copy.
I was going
my
to say, if it
Arduin
does, you know
books
where
do.
Jackie got rid of it.
Hey, what's up, Hungar?
Hungar.
Oh yeah, we're kind of jonesing to hang out with you, bro.
Yeah.
It's been way too freaking long.
We need to party Monday afternoon, man.
Exactly, Jeff. It left because that's what it was. It was supposed to be all about imagination. Even my desire now to make strange new worlds or what have you can't compare to the worlds we made out of whole cloth. At the table, at the drop of a hat because we suddenly need to. We're playing Traveler. We just popped into this system and okay, got to start making worlds. Out of nothing. Maybe you used the rules and used a couple of die rolls to get the water percentages and things like that. We didn't need all this help, and now these people can't freaking, run a game without freaking everything,
They need,
pre-planned.
they need the ruling. They need the official ruling from the official source, rather than going, "Hey, it's a game, dude. Just figure it out, make it work."
Yeah.
Rulings over rules.
Yeah.
Well, in their defense, though, it's not much of a defense because it means they don't have much of imagination. Coming up
Oh,
with things for yourself is a pain in the ass.
It can be.
Like
It can
I'm
be.
trying to come up with spells, abilities, and
Happy
crap like that
days.
for my game,
Justin.
and it's
Mm.
it is hard.
Especially
when you want it
you
to
know
make
what though.
sense.
Yeah.
You know
Happy
what though?
days.
I've noticed that this is what bugs the shit out of me. I noticed, like, I could probably name off 5 games when it comes to spells that all have the same exact like first through I'm going to say 5th level spells. The fact that they have first through 5th level spells right off the bat means that they're all just pulling from the original source. The original source had, not white box AD&D, because it was the next. It was literally like second edition D&D. It was the second actual D&D game, and it had to this day still more of everything than any other game. And every other game will like copy it, like Castles and Crusades or Axe or whatever. They'll take out little bits of it and smush it down to the simpler form of it, and then fail because they're just copying the original. Every game I've looked at has Fireball as a third level spell. How is your game that much different if every game has Fireball and Lightning Bolt as third level spells? It's the same fucking game. It really
Yeah.
is. It's a little
Where
different,
instead
but
of
it's
just
not.
making, like, personally, if I'm going to do that, I'm going to take all those things that are basically the same thing but flavored differently and just class them as the same thing with flavor options. You know, okay, you want fireball, you want lightning ball, you want god power ball, you want water ball. It's just, you got ball power plus unique ability as your flavor, you know, as whatever level you're going to take that as. Oh, you want other special unique power? You now got to go study for that. That's a quest your character can go on. There, we got something to do next week.
When Justin said ball power, Shadow got excited.
Yeah, well, he's got like 500 movies in that series, okay?
Okay, Mike. But you know what I mean, right? Uh, Mike, it's the same freaking game. All you've changed is so little if you really compared it.
And if you took the 10 seconds to come up with this like thing I just said, that would radically change that whole mechanic.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of going, oh, you can only have this at third level, or this at fifth level, or this at 97 level, or power creep.
Mm-hmm. So I don't hate Fireball. I just hate the idea that
Oh, I
that
love
every
Fireball. I think every single fucking character should have it at birth.
I know a
I was
game that's a
born with Fireball
possibility.
in my hands. Your poor mother.
I actually know a game where that is a possibility, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
What I find
it's
so disgusting is all these people thinking they did something that's actually as special as other people claim it to be. When if you just go out and grab the original books and play the old games,
Mhm.
you find out it may not be better for what you're looking for, but it was the first. Therefore, it at least at the very least deserves some reflection on it to see if hey maybe this was so good for so long for an actual reason, and everybody else is just you know for lack of a better reason they don't want to shell out the money for an old moldy book. They want a brand new book that's slick and cleaned up and blah blah blah. I
That could
love
be
the
a
fact that the old books are kind of crappy.
that could
ah,
be a cultural thing too. You have people and generations of people who view everything that is now made superior to everything that has come before.
And that's just not the case.
I know, and it could be the same thing, but because it's now made now as opposed to made 10 years ago, this is better and superior just because it's new and created now
well,
and not old.
I
That
don't know about that.
people
I
like it.
do understand like the prettiness of a lot of the cleaned up versions.
Hmm.
Oh, I get that. I get
Yeah.
it.
Sure, but what it would be interesting as hell to see someone like rewrite, not rewrite, but republish like the Player's Handbook, Dungeon Master's Guide, and Monster Manual. Maybe just do
Yeah,
all new artwork,
They
and
have.
maybe no, I mean literally like word for word, but just
they did.
They
for
did.
who.
Wizards.
TSR. Wizards of the Coast.
Well, yeah, TSR did it and Wizards did it. They always do it for a cash grab. It's for a new project. They
Yeah.
re-release this stuff. They
Like,
did the greenbacks for AD&D. They did the green
they
books.
just re-released like what was the AD&D as like a collector's.
Mhm.
Really?
It was like $300 or
Yeah, the
something like that, or
forward
something like that.
The forward is the thing, man.
Yeah, that's
they
the only
tongue
thing.
lash the creators in the forward. You know,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
And it came in like a wood box and shit like that or something like that.
I must have missed that, but just to see, and
But
hand those out
like
to
like
people.
Bubba said, it was like the exact book except for a forward,
And they
right?
fucked the forward up.
And the forward was like
The
it was very
AD&D blueprint.
diverse in its bigotry and hatred of the people who created the game.
Yeah. And then there's the AD, and they did some AD&D books. They redid them. They were brown and green, I think. The covers they were nice. I'll have one or two. I prefer the old ones. I prefer they weren't thread and stuff like with the binding as the old ones, but they were nice. But I think they were a cash grab, and it was a way to cash in on nostalgia. When they need money, they pay lip service, they reprint, and then they go, it must be the new stuff to have the message and all this other stuff. And I'm a fan of the older mechanics. So new mechanics, kind of, they're not the new SR or modern gaming doesn't appeal to me. I like class-based, level-based XP systems. That's what I'm familiar with and what I'm good with. I'll make it weird, have fun with it, but
I like all of what you said for AD&D.
yeah,
Other games, I could play Traveler that has none of that. I could play Call of Cthulhu. I could play other games.
I play other games that aren't class level based, but when I play my certain things at my wheelhouse that
Right.
I'm really enjoying
It's
playing,
just it's just more comfortable. We
Yeah.
did it for decades, so it's easy. We know it. We don't have to pull out the books because it's all up here. And a lot of it,
a lot of wretched and stuff, but I'm like, I have to relearn all the stuff. I have to forget things because I'm not as fresh with it.
right.
And it's very linear. Out of the D20 flat D20 systems can be a little linear. They did cap it well though, with only doing 5 bonus and stats.
Mm-hmm.
That's
but once again, like that's a good example, right? Like the Wretched Core rulebook, the one that they give away for free. That's 300 pages.
Yep.
Yeah, it's big. They do so many genres, though. That's the thing.
Yes.
They make
it's essentially the equivalent to
that you want to do.
it's like an easier to use GURPS.
Yeah, I get that, but still, I'd rather that split up.
Yeah,
the way to go with that is pick the genre then with them, and then you get everything. I believe, like if you pick up a sci-fi game, doesn't it have all the basics in it?
No, it adds on.
No?
You get the core book's free. The core book is free.
But I'd rather
have a little extra from all the different genres. That costs you. But the core, and if you want to get a setting, I just want to play Wretched Space. Bam, core free, Wretched Space, pay for it, you're done. That's all you need.
I would rather pay for the Wretched Space book with the core mechanics in it instead of having the 300-page book.
I get that. That's a solid criticism of how they do things because he cranks them out a lot, and then there's revisions, so it's a constant thing. But it's how they keep fighting, not stagnating too. Plus, I don't think Miguel actually sleeps. I think he's always just typing.
Yeah.
Like a
I
jerk.
don't know how he can do what he does. And that's a good point, Raven.
He's one of those guys from making lunch.
It's got to be affordable right now. The only thing that's keeping 5e alive is you can go and buy a player's handbook for $15. It originally came out for 50 or 60, but you can buy those books now $15, maybe 20 with shipping, and that's something a teenager can afford.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that, and have your product available for like $35 max.
Yeah, I'm going to get Dragon Slayer, but it's $80. I don't like dropping $80 on one book.
But it's $80 for you.
I don't think you'll like it. It's.
I do like it. I have the PDF. I love it.
Oh, you really? I couldn't stand it. I hated everything about it.
It's $80 for you. Now imagine if I wanted to buy it. Add a minimum of $40 to that.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, like my son's friends. Between the 5 or 6 of them, they've got a player's handbook and a dungeon master's guide, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
they just can't afford it, and they tell their parents, "Hey, I want this book. It's $50." The parents just say, "Yeah, it's not happening."
No. And that was before
Maybe,
the current
yeah,
economic
Yeah.
bullshit.
I get that. My
but,
budget for gaming is fucking
yeah,
evaporated.
you could, Raven. Are you talking about? You know who Wretched is? But yeah, I looked up recently a player's handbook fifth edition on eBay. I could pick them up for like $15 all day long.
Speaking of Nazis, World War II, I picked up a bunch of undead Nazis and an undead Hitler.
Right.
That was a good segue.
Yeah.
That's
And what's funny is you can pick up the original AD&D books for 20, $30 depending on the time of year. You know,
yeah,
at least you
it's
could. It's
rare.
getting harder. It's getting harder because people now are like, oh, this is worth. They look at the highest priced version on eBay and go, oh, well, I want more than that then. Or I want that, and then they realize, oh, mine's kind of in shit condition. It's never going to happen, and they end up wasting 3 months trying to sell it, finding out that people will pay like half what they're asking because one, the economy, and two, their particular copy looks pretty beat up, and nobody wants that.
Hmm.
Well, yeah, Cal, get a job, buy your own books. But a lot of the kids that Jackie hangs out with, even though they're roughly all 16 and could go out and get a work permit, their parents would probably then take the money.
Massive.
Or they would just say, I don't want you spending your money on a $50 book for a game you play once a month. When I was a kid, we played it every day, and my mom, she had no problem buying me a couple of the books because I was a book. I was reading. Heck yeah,
Yeah.
you want a book?
Now I
Instead
tell
of
you this: uh, if it was $15 cheaper, you probably wouldn't have those parents. 50 is that number that is like it's
That's
got that
true.
ambiguous extra weight to it.
Well, interestingly
Yep.
enough, is it 50? I think it's a 50, 150, and 500. Like by those increments are generally 50 is a scary number basically when it comes to
Yeah, you
spending.
can reason it out. That's when you start comparing it to wages. Once you get around $50, you start comparing it to how many hours I actually worked for this.
How many meals is
See,
that?
here's the thing,
What do I got
though.
to give up? But that's all economics. What do I sacrifice to get
Take
this?
care, RPG.
Where if you were like buying that book twice at $35, people would do it.
Yeah, they
It's
do it to the
more
library.
money, but
Really, your library has all the books. Raven, here's the problem though with
Library's got our AD&D books.
PDFs. Um, every kid I know, um, if they pull out their electronic device, it's not going to be to read D&D books. It's going to be to do something completely different. But if they have the book, then they see the book, and then they might actually pick up the book and not pick up their phone or their tablet or go online somewhere
yeah,
else. As soon as they pick up that device, the reward
it's distraction time.
yeah, is way greater to watch the latest YouTube video from their favorite YouTuber
Oh,
or start texting their friends or something. If they've got the actual physical book, they will pick it up from time to time, and then they will, get the visceral feeling from turning the pages and going, "Oh wow, this is a thing that's more than just a chunk of paper. There's stuff in here," and then they get sucked in to actually reading a book, which is
I tell you, I sell
Plus,
those. I sell those alternative version Morkborg sheets on Amazon, and I get at least $50 in revenue every month from those things now.
yeah. Plus, books don't
Uh,
go ding. Prize are done.
because the physical copy is so much more useful at the table
Mhm.
than the digital one because it doesn't distract. It doesn't.
you're not
And
tempted to go look at something else. Oh,
yeah,
I got a notification. What's that? You
yeah,
know,
Yeah, it's the ding. Prize are done comment.
yeah.
basic fantasy, sure. Uh, if you can get your players all on board, okay. But
I mean, it's a good
uh,
BX. It's a good version of BX. You remember OSR originally
but I don't like
started, but
BX.
didn't have
So
access to all this stuff.
it's funny to me
Hmm.
how many of the new games are copies of BX or
It's solid.
but not AD&D. Um, To me, it's just weird uh, to me, BX is kind of like a watered down version of AD&D. Some people argue that it's tougher and harder and better. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I've looked at it. There's huge discrepancies in it that
It's
I
more
don't
that
like.
rules over rules that you were talking about. It's more of
Or, yeah, it seems watered down or distilled to make it easier or streamlined. I don't need that. It's not AD&D wasn't friggin' rocket science. It
yeah.
wasn't
I do that D&D 0.75 BX with the Chrome of AD&D, just a little bit race plus class plus very stripped down powers. I keep it very simple.
Yeah.
Quick. So there's a lot of crunch to AD&D. If you really dive into it, it can get
There,
crunchy.
there
Kind of
is.
a pain in the ass.
I don't need to know my mother's maiden name or how many
Birth order.
sisters she had or
Yeah, birth order, stuff like that. It only really matters if you're playing that kind of game. If you're just doing
yeah.
dungeon crawls and
now with the BX8. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've looked at it. I just didn't like it. Um, you know,
I get it. I feel that's
I
the way
mean,
a lot of modern
I
stuff
have played
doesn't
a
move me.
bit of it.
Like a bad
Like
laxative.
I'm just saying that kind of stuff could be optional and not need dice rolls. Like I have no problem that section's in there, but why do you need a dice roll for it? Like just give me
Most of
some
it's
ideas of
For
what I
what?
can
most of
do
it's
and
Dice
optional.
roll for what, Justin?
the birth order stuff. We spend more
Oh,
time
I was just trying to
fucking
fill
doing.
out. Because some people like that, some people don't, and
We
as
spent
opposed
more
to
time on birth order for my character than the rest of the fucking shit, and I never even bothered writing any of that crap down because I didn't give
I'm
a
going to
shit.
make it
You
matter.
gave me stuff, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm writing that down, Shadow. I'm writing that down right now."
Do you even D&D?
Ah, it's
Uh,
great.
Believe it or not, some people enjoyed that part, and it didn't take. It's 2 percentile rolls, and you write down some info.
It took
Uh,
an hour and a half.
no, it didn't.
Yes, it did. I
It's
timed it.
impossible.
It took us
Did
an
in
hour
his
and a
head.
half.
You
It's
forget
literally two
time
rolls.
dilation is a real thing. If it's something you don't think is important and you think it's a waste of time, the time dilation expands.
No.
So that
I
30-second
timed it.
is an hour and a half for him.
It was not time dilation. I looked at the clock.
We probably were getting distracted on other
Shut up.
things.
That's besides the point.
Oh, okay, that probably is the point. Um, yeah, I've read Osric as well.
That's cool. Solid.
Uh, and I think I still have. I think I have all of that on PDF. I think Bear sent it to me. Um, but at the end of the
I
day, to me,
don't like that, Raven.
to me, at the end of the day, every fantasy game that came after AD&D was just AD&D with the serial numbers filed off.
There
That's
was some
ultimately.
streamlining with Osric too. I think it filled in some blanks that weren't really addressed, and it was a labor of
But
love.
I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but I can make my way through the DMG
Right.
without a roadmap. I don't
Right.
have to use the table of contents. It's like 128 pages. I could just flip the pages real quick. Eventually, I'll get to what I'm looking for. You know what I mean? I don't
I
need
don't name
freaking
the
thumb
pages.
tabs and bookmarks and things like that. I'll make it. You know what I mean? When people say
Well,
it's better formatted, yeah, for fucking retards. People who
no.
need
Shut
that
up about
shit.
that. I like better formatting.
Now, if you switch game systems a lot, I think that gets more confusing where stuff is in the book and double checking yourself. But if you're not
Yeah.
switching game systems,
There
every
is no Gygaxian prose. It's just straight English. I don't know
people
what
used to
you're
be
talking
able
about.
to read. Think about that. We used to read a lot more going into the 80s. Now you got people going into the 90s, they didn't read as much. And now going into 2000s, kids don't read at all unless it's on a little flippy screen.
Yeah.
So
Well, I'll tell you
we're used
this.
to doing a lot of reading.
I'll
Those
tell
have
you
bigger
this.
vocabulary.
I think
Oh, okay.
phonics, which was a system created to teach deaf people how to read, fucked more people up on how to read
Right.
than any other system we've created out through history.
Oh,
At the
it did more than
recomprehension
they did more
trigger.
than just
I
deaf
think
people. They were
phonics created more illiterate people than vice versa.
Oh yeah, well I can tell you right now, there was a phonics child version that wasn't meant for the deaf kids. It was meant for regular kids.
Right.
That shit
No,
made
no,
it to
no.
the
The
point that
system
I
was
could not read. Well, no,
The
there was
system.
one called phonics as well that was for children.
Hooked on
No,
phonics.
no, bro. I'm telling you, it was adapted for children. It was originally created for deaf people.
Okay, so I used the wrong verbiage.
Yeah, that's like most people don't know that, so I'm just telling you, like, because they were pushing that in. Because I was in special ed too, right? Uh, it was pushed on us a lot when I was in school in the
I
early
don't believe that
90s.
one bit, Justin.
What?
That you were in special ed.
Yeah, I was in special ed.
Really?
They include everybody's got a learning disability or perception issues with like dyslexia and stuff. They all got
Yeah,
lumped together.
and I have
Nice.
severe dyslexia. Um, but but when you actually like learn about phonics and why it was created in the first place, it's created for deaf people. So like, and then it's like, oh, it worked on deaf people, so it'll work on everyone. It's like it became the band-aid fit all solution, right? It's like, oh, I got a fucking hammer. Let's start hitting shit with it. And it's like, that's not how it works, bro. But what you gonna do, liberals?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Well, what I was saying was is that child phonics and
Well, it's the same phonics,
PBS
bro.
station. Well, I'm saying the child version of it. 'Cause it was very childish and very weird.
Yeah.
Maybe like someone was on drugs when they made it weird, but and then there were shows on PBS that did also just as confusing things, such
Yeah.
as for the fact on I can't remember the name of the show. Oh yes, I can't remember the name. I just call it Between the Liars because they lied a lot.
Yeah.
It said in one of the things, if two vowels are right next to each other, the first one always says its name.
I'll find
That is
shit.
bullshit.
What?
When two vowels go walking, the first one does the talking.
Yeah.
And that is bullshit. I've found so many instances where that is not the case.
Well, English is a very confusing
Yeah, it's like
contradictory language.
it's because it's made up of like 45 other fucking languages.
What happens when you're
Reading is for nerds.
Yeah, reading is for nerds. I agree with you, bro. I'm gonna put that on a shirt. Yeah.
Spelled exactly like that.
Now it sounds like an STD.
What?
Dyslexia dripping off your chin.
Sorry, guys. Good.
Well, that's another thing, right? Like, I don't care how cool C Spot Run was in the daycare. You don't hand it to a third grader.
I had this thing called Reading Lab when I was a kid throughout
Yeah.
first through sixth grade, where we had these projectors, these little booths with a projector, and you could turn up the speed of the words that would run across the page. And
Yeah, you were in California when it was still Whitelandia and not
Whitelandia.
so you got all the cool hyper advanced technology and accelerated learning and
I did really good with all of my English and reading classes to the point that I knew words that my teachers didn't know.
Well, that's the thing about Bubba. I don't know if you know about this about California. When it was still a white place, it was the most technologically advanced place on the planet.
There was other reasons it was technologically advanced, and that was due to its economy. I was from a much wider place, and our economy wasn't as strong.
Yes, but that's besides the point. You know what I'm saying?
It's
California was the most
it's
technologically advanced place on the
not
planet at
exactly
that time.
accurate 100%. I'm saying.
When it stopped being that, it stopped being
ports, economy. It was a huge. It was and still is a huge breadbasket. They are now destroying that, and they have the entertainment industry funneling ridiculous amounts of money into the state economy, which is outside of actual real resources.
Well, before 1992,
Well, yeah, I can say
South Africa was the fourth
homogenous,
largest economy on the planet.
homogenous societies are usually much more successful.
Yeah.
Well, on one side of the spectrum.
Yes, on one side of the spectrum.
Yes, well, we all know that someday Jackie is going to go down to Mexico and 10 years later lead out an army to take over America.
No.
It could happen.
I do. Mexico's screwed because of their cartels. It'll be hard to overcome really rich barbarians that
Yep.
run those things.
Jackie is the second level immortal. He'll be fine. Second generation immortal.
Anyone who stands to make a real change in Mexico gets their head blown off and their guts strung from a fucking bridge.
Yes.
So,
If they're not ruthless enough.
exactly.
And if they are ruthless enough, they just become a cartel member.
Right. It's just the thing is,
He doesn't have a ruthless bone in his body.
decent people who will make a change.
Well, then he's dead, bro. I hate to tell you that.
I wonder why I worry when he goes.
Yeah. It's terrible. It's not safe. Even the avocado industry is now owned by cartels. That sink in. Your avocados are funding bloodthirsty monsters.
I had an avocado for dinner tonight, or with dinner tonight.
Well, but that's one of the things that they
Was that
did touch on it.
Shadow, was that an avocado or adrenochrome?
It was an avocado. It was green. It was delicious.
That's one of the things.
Did it come in a little vial marked adrenochrome?
No, it didn't.
But yeah, that's what's one of the things. A lot of most TV shows don't.
Take care, Cal. I'll see you later this week. If not, I'll see you Saturday.
The cartels are just as happy doing something legal as illegal, as long as it makes them the most money.
Well, the whole thing with the avocados was there was a big avocado boom because everybody decided avocado toast was the next great thing. So that part of Mexico started doing really good. So they saw they was making money. Then they went in, they shook them down, and they took it over because they had the ability to do so because they are thugs.
It probably wasn't hard. They probably just bought all the farmland from the banks that are owned by the U.S. government.
They turned the avocado farmers into serfs again. They just shut them down, dude.
I'm gonna have to grow an avocado tree. Jackie's family in Los Angeles, they have an avocado tree that they grew from a seed, and for the first I want to say 3 years of our marriage, I literally got sick of fucking avocados because it was avocados every fucking day. I literally had to go like I want to say 10 years without eating one before it was like, okay, I'll have an avocado. I'll have some guacamole.
Yeah, I like guac.
I don't mind guacamole.
It has been close to 2 decades since the last time I had hamburger helper, and I still will not eat it.
Oh, I love hamburger helper, man.
That's how much I had it as a kid.
Same here, Crafting. When I turned 18,
you know what's a great meal? Hamburger helper, mac and cheese from the KD box, right? And
it's been 40 years. I don't think I'll ever buy another box.
Spam and government cheese sandwich.
Fuck no.
I got the boy hooked on Spam, although we haven't had it in a while, but he freaking loved that shit.
Spam's supposed to be a cheap, practically garbage meat, yet it's right up there with some of the.
And now it's one of the most expensive canned products you can find in your grocery store.
Yep.
Yeah, it's salted pork shoulder, basically.
What did they start making dog food out of pork shoulder or something?
I remember when COVID first started,
and it never came down.
It was like the first 2 or 3 weeks of COVID. I watched a guy walk out of our local grocery store with all of the Spam, all of it,
because it keeps for a very long time. It's very high in protein and salt. That's why it has a higher shelf life. So much salt. It's good and it's tasty. You don't really get tired of it. And if
there's a lot of different ways you can use it too.
What's the third thing I put on my plate with my hamburger helper, my KD, and it's gotta be something.
Were we supposed to be taking notes?
Yeah, I'm
Vienna
trying to find a
sausage?
third thing that's like ridiculous to have together, but it comes in a box.
You're right, Brian. It is. All canned meats are freaking crazy
A
expensive.
sidekick, like a sidekick.
That's not bad. Eggs, crispy hash browns, and some fried spam. It's actually not bad. Which is the same thing as having hash, corned beef hash with your stuff too.
Yeah.
Canned
You forgot
chicken's
to
also
admit yourself,
crazy
Shadow.
disgusting.
Yeah, I don't like when the chicken gets into small pieces. I get really nervous.
No, you can get a full chicken canned, bro.
Dude, it's cheaper to buy the full chicken.
Yeah, but it's not all slimy and gross and toxic green.
We can't hear you, Shadow. You've gone silent.
You muted yourself, bro.
I don't think he can hear. Well, no, he can hear us.
Are you talking to somebody else, Shadow? Because you're not talking to
Muted
us.
yourself.
No, I was saying you can go to Sam's Club and get a whole rotisserie
Oh,
chicken for
okay.
$5 still.
Yeah,
You
Yeah.
that won't be an organic.
Shadow's audio.
That might be a Franken chicken, but
You
get a
can
roast-
now it came back.
buy. You can buy those rotisserie things.
Yeah, I know.
With
But
those,
the
like,
thing is, you
countertop-
can't. Where I live, you cannot find a whole bag chicken.
Really?
You cannot find it in the grocery store. You can find all the parts you want in any combination, but just the whole chicken, they don't do that anymore.
Now,
I
I'm
got
going to ask
frozen
you,
chicken and I
Shadow.
get fresh whole chicken.
Shadow, is this like the XPS foam that you can't find at the Home Depot? But
I haven't
the
seen
second
whole chickens
I
at
Google.
Sam's, actually, to be honest. I've not seen a whole chicken at Sam's. I get them from Kroger or from my butcher.
Well, our Sam's Club has got like this big machine that's rotisserie cooking like 50 chickens at a time, and they fly off the freaking.
I think that's why you don't get frozen whole chickens there because they're making them on the rotisserie.
No, I mean like at other grocery stores, you cannot find a whole bagged uncooked chicken.
We get them at Kroger's all the time here. Or like I said, I go to a
They're all
butcher,
over the
I go
place
to a
where I live.
farm, and I buy the chickens. I had a guy just liquidate all of his egg laying chickens for a project, and he was selling them sons of bitches for $10 a chicken.
It's a fresh chicken too.
A fresh chicken. Like, go out there and I'll get it ready for you in about an hour.
And we went grocery shopping this morning, and eggs are back up to about $8 a dozen.
See, everybody I know grows eggs, dude. I got a line of some duck eggs coming now too. So I'm gonna have dozens of duck
So I
eggs.
passed on the eggs. I was
Do I
pissed.
Do I live in a special area or something? Cheese didn't get that expensive. Chicken didn't get that expensive.
You live
We
out
still
in the
find whole
country,
chicken.
bro.
We find whole
He's in
turkeys.
California though, man. I'm surprised they're even allowed to eat. Look at him the bug patties. Everybody just froze.
Heck, it's actually kind of amazing how popular turkey is up here. You can find it year round.
Really?
Yeah, you
Well,
can find turkey
you
around.
get turkey breast year round, but a whole turkey is kind of
Oh no, we get whole turkeys year round here.
You
yeah.
must have a
Almost
turkey
like
farm.
almost like people celebrate Thanksgiving every month.
Nope. You can't find the turkeys here until Thanksgiving. Last year they were about $150 a piece.
You might be near a bunch
No,
of turkey.
thankfully, no. Once again, not that bad a price.
I'll usually get to a whole turkey.
Between 120 and $150 a piece.
Actually, I haven't paid for a turkey in years. My daughters get them. I have 3 daughters that work at the hospital, and they get the choice of a ham
Brian, gas is $5 and over a
Right.
gallon here.
whole turkey, and they all take whole turkeys every year. So I usually get one given to me every, like 25-pound turkey. Your dad.
Yeah, 25 pounds.
Add about $1 to that price tag for where I live.
Yeah, I think we're at 3 something here. 3.
It was 5 something to just under $6 a gallon when I passed the gas station today.
I live right next to a refinery too. It's fucked up.
Well, you know why? They're shipping all shipping all your gas overseas, bro.
The majority of the gas stations owned locally are owned by John C. Clark, one of my fucking neighbors. And guess what? He keeps it. Since he has the majority, he sets the price. Therefore, it's inflated. I go one county over, and it drops 30 cents.
Yeah, but that's 30 cents. The
That's not that
baseline is so high because you're shipping all your energy stocks over to Europe because of the embargo, right?
Yeah,
With
we probably
Russia.
should be drilling too. If we were drilling, it would drop again.
That's nice. Although I'm kind of burnt on turkey.
I've never liked it.
I
Yeah,
think it's easy to get burnt on turkey.
right out of the oven that day. Afterward, maybe the next day, but after that, forget about it.
You gotta throw it in a pot with some vegetables and let it become a soup or something.
I don't know,
It's
there's
gotten
some
to a
things
way
with
for a little while there because turkey could because it's so easy to find whole turkeys, and for a while they're not the best price, but they're still better than shadows. For a while they were so cheap. We had so many turkeys. At this point, none of us eat turkey unless it's Thanksgiving. Then we have 3 meals of it. We have Thanksgiving, next day fried in a pan, usually with bacon fat if we have it, and then we take the bones and mix turkey soup.
I really gotta get around to having that endless pot.
Thanks for reminding me. I'm going to smoke turkey necks this year.
Well, you're gonna smoke fucking everything all the time.
I know, right?
Well,
But I saw that a type of barbecue that's fallen out of favor over the years, turkey necks. Smoked turkey necks used to be a thing, and I forgot about it. They just said it. I actually wrote down a recipe for smoking turkey necks.
Thought that came to mind. Eventually, Beelzebub was like, all right, I've tried zebra, I've tried lion, tried alligator.
I've had
Hey
nutrients.
Jeff,
I've
what you doing?
even tried platypus. Well, that just leaves
Right,
one
they're
meat
cool.
now. Hey, neighbor Larry, how fat are you?
I've never been a cannibal, but I've
I've
already,
never been a cannibal.
I've already ate horse. I've had horse before, and I had nutrient down in Louisiana, which is basically a big swamp rat. I haven't had beaver. There's a pun there. But anyway.
Neither has Shadow.
I'm also looking at getting a monitor lizard and grilling that son of a bitch up. I'm curious.
I wonder if you could smoke calamari.
It gets, dude, I'm not a fan. It gets rubbery, and I've been looking at something to do with scallops.
know.
They get rubbery too.
Yeah, no.
Take care, Brian. We'll see you soon, buddy.
Party on, man. You know what that is? That's the squid is sat around too long.
Yeah,
It's not fresh enough when it was cooked.
I'm pretty far inland too, dude. It's hard to get me really fresh seafood.
Well, it has to be alive when you get it, right? Like you want it live and butcher it yourself.
I'll pass. I'll pass on that.
You're a big boy. You could do it.
I probably
Those
could.
are mean motherfuckers. They're capable of moving.
I have a guy in Charleston that gets fresh seafood in. That's where I get my shark. I could see if he's got something super fresh.
Yeah, and you could butcher it on camera. It'd be a great YouTube video.
I don't know.
Get the microphone right up nice and close so you can hear it scream.
I've never liked the texture of it, and I like seafood, so probably not.
Yeah, well, you got to bread it. It's got to be breaded.
No carbs. We're cutting back on carbs. So
you don't bread it with bread. You bread it with.
Dude, pork rinds don't work as well, and I'm getting tired of using them for shit like that.
Does cornbread have carbs?
I told Shadow to use Doritos. They make a Dorito, or not a Dorito. What's the other one that's long and tube
Doritos
shaped?
not food; it's food product.
Shush for a minute.
Tackies?
No.
The ones you can stick on your fingers
cheesy
and make little
poofs,
claws out of?
What's
Oh,
the cheesy
Bugles?
What?
Bugles?
Now I'm inspired.
What's the cheesy poof? But the actual brand name one.
Cheetos.
Cheetos. They make a keto Cheeto.
Keto Cheeto. I love Ron.
they make a keto Cheeto. That you can ground into a powder flake, and I don't know about your slow.
That's pork rind.
I don't know about your smoker, but I know they work really well in a air fryer, from what I hear, as a breading.
Yeah, it's cheddar cheese and egg. And almond flour. Almond flour is carb.
But it's not high carb.
Right, it's low carb. I don't like almond flour.
Technically, your egg is a carb too.
cheese flavored popcorn seasoning.
One large egg is half a carb.
It's not a lot, bro. It's
What's a
carb.
Culver?
A what?
It's a store. Culver's. It's a chain.
That's not what it sounds like here. During my Gary Con experience, Culver's will become the primary
Yeah.
food group.
It's a. I believe it's a chicken chain. No, that's the one that's got the butter burgers, doesn't they? Oh, yeah.
Burger.
I thought it was chicken chain.
I ended up spending just over $200 on gnome.
It's a nice looking burger. It's a flat burger from what I see. But,
Yeah, it's a smash burger.
yeah, but it's like the actual size in the picture from the thing on Reddit I'm seeing.
It's a good series. It's a good chain.
I like it when the burger is the actual size it shows in the picture. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the deep fried fucking cheese curds are amazing.
Deep fried cheese curds. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They do they do a lot of butter on their burgers too.
Butter's always good.
On the meat or the bread?
Both. Butter the bun. But it's cooked in a lot of butter. It's good. I mean, I put butter in my coffee for fuck's sake. So I'm all about it.
Really?
Bullet coffee.
Mm-hmm. What?
Bullet coffee.
Do they call it bullet
Yeah.
coffee?
You put a dollop of butter.
Mm-hmm. Pat of butter in it. Put a pat of butter and a little dash of half and half and a monk fruit, and then I swirl up.
You guys are weird.
It's your keto diet, right? You need to get those fats up to push things around. So you just real butter and everything.
I can't do coffee anymore.
Butter becomes 2 out of 3 of your food groups.
Because a snack, eat frozen butter and fat. I do this thing with butter and fat and then freeze it, and it's like a popper.
There's this.
Really?
I'm still trying to teach my brother-in-law that bacon fat is a good thing to hold on to.
Oh yeah, it's good to cook in. We do.
Jackie's mom freaks out if I cook bacon. Thinks it's pure poison.
Wow, I got I keep bacon grease and
keto desserts.
Butter. I'm mainly cooking butter, but I also for my steaks when I cook in the house and not on the grill, I have we make this stuff out of I forgot what we call it. We render down fucking fat, and we make this
lard.
Not lard. It's they used to do the fries in them all the time.
Beef tallow.
Beef tallow. We make our own beef tallow. So that's great on steak, dude. Fucking amazing. To make tallow, I keep bacon grease, and I cook mainly butter. And then I use lard. Certain types of things need just good old-fashioned pork lard.
Something I found out. Sorry.
Go.
Something I found out when I was doing my little bit of research for putting recipes in my book. I don't know how far I'll go with it beyond putting them in. But anyway, I found out that beef tallow, bacon, lard, and vegetable fat all cook at the same exact temperature.
Hey, Frederick, long time no see, buddy.
You would think they cook at different temperatures. I looked it up. Nope, they're all exactly the same exact temperature.
I think they have different smoke points is the main thing about them. The smoke points.
That's when they start to break down into smoke.
Well, Frederick, you're going to have to rewind the show because I'm getting ready to end this one. Sorry, buddy. You got to get here earlier. But don't be a stranger, man. It's been forever since we've seen you.
They've been making me grill the burgers, the steaks lately. But if I do it on the stove, I put the tallow in there, get that nice, and throw a pat of butter on that. Then do the, 2.5 minutes, 3.5 minutes on top, and then flip it into the oven at 500 for 5 minutes, and then I turn my thing sideways and I spoon that tallow over on top of the stuff before I plate it. A little bit of salt, done. It's delicious.
Now, almond flour is pretty low carb. You can use a lot more of it. I was just watching a thing on desserts, like chocolate desserts.
Yeah, they like the bitter chocolates. I'm not a fan of it.
No, the keto chocolate desserts.
Yeah, there's not a lot of them.
What?
There's not a lot of them that I like. The wife's real picky
Yeah.
too. She can't have sugar, so
Yeah.
we're in a bind. I can have the sugar, she can't, and I keep it very very minimal. So
Mhm.
I'm running keto core, dirty keto core. So I'm not doing a pure carnivore anymore, but I might go back on it because I've gone back up to 170 pound, and I'm plateaued right there. I'm staying right at 170.
I know.
A bit more.
I know this guy likes his chocolate, so I was just mentioning that. You
Yeah.
might want to look one of those recipes up, because I know the one I saw before. You just throw the shit in the ramekin and then put it in the nuker, put it on for like 5 minutes, and it comes out as like
No worries, Fred.
a little chocolate
Someday.
souffle or something like that.
We got rid of
Someday
her.
I am going to make my
Yeah.
own Turkish delight.
There you go. Give it a shot.
Turkish delight. Yeah. Just don't
Yeah.
forget the rose oil.
Oh, yeah.
All the flavor comes from that little drop of rose oil.
I don't think I've had it. I've had halva, but not that.
Yeah, and also the convectioning sugar is the main ingredient, man.
Yeah.
If you don't
I've got a
put the
big,
shit,
I've got a big jar of that for my French toast.
oh, yeah.
He's a French toast man. You need a French toast burger.
Ooh.
A French toast patty melt.
Oh, is Cal still here? Because I need to thank him for
No, he
showing
left.
me. Oh, damn.
Okay,
All right,
so
I
you
see
got,
the crap.
you got your 2 pieces of French toast, you got your pea bacon, you got your burger,
Yeah.
and then you got your cheese.
Chopped sirloin. That'd be a chopped sirloin. I do a chopped sirloin. Make a little thin patty about that. Smash burger it. Smother that shit in cheese between those. And
Okay, 2 smash burgers with the pea bacon in between, and cheese on either side of the bacon.
Yeah.
Just fucking load the thing up with cheese. Cheese, smash burger, cheese, pea bacon, cheese, smash
Yeah,
burger, cheese, other final fucking French toast,
Throw it on your flat stone or your griddle and go to town on it. That sounds really good.
and then push it down. You gotta pre-cook your French toast though.
With or without syrup and powdered sugar.
Dude, dip that
Make
shit.
2 and try one of each.
Dip that shit in syrup.
I'm pretty sure that's how I'm going to die.
I'm okay with that.
Oh, I never saw the movie, but the best joke I ever. Anybody here know what a zombie is?
The drink?
Food wise, the food.
No.
No. Drink a few.
Canadian bacon or Rio bacon, smothered in cheese, baked in 2 pieces of baked in a soft bread-like material.
Oh yeah.
When it's made, it's very very good, but also very very rich in cheese. Now there's a joke. I've never seen the movie, but the joke is hilarious. Action movie guy's supposed to be one of the best in the world. He literally says, "In this bag is the thing that's going to kill me," and he pulls out a zombie. That super greasy, cheesy sandwich.
I don't know.
It's like a Philly cheesesteak.
Yeah, pretty much. We'll just say that.
Okay. Man, now I want a Monte Cristo.
It does sound good, doesn't it?
Well,
like a Reuben.
The reason why I needed to thank Cal is he's the one who he
Shit,
introduced
I
me
just
to
went grocery
Gnomish
shopping. I could have got all this stuff for a Reuben, man.
You know what I've been eating lately as a snack? And I tried to cut out the bread, but I've been putting them on my damn keto thins as a bacon, peanut butter, banana sandwiches.
Ooh.
Just make sure you don't eat one on the toilet, then you'll be okay.
Peanut butter bananas is actually really freaking good.
You can grill that. There's a Paula Deen recipe that I used to do with you grilled it all up and that was extra shit. And it was just amazing.
I watched the thing. I gotta try this, but if you puree the banana, it's supposed to taste so much better.
I just disc it, put it on there.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I've only had like 2 or 3 of those sandwiches in my life, and every time I have one, I'm like, why don't I eat these like all the damn time? I just
I think they're better when you only have them every so often.
100 comments. We just hit 100 comments, bro.
Cool.
nice, great way to go out because I'm about to shut the show down because, yeah,
That's
Monte
101.
Cristos. I've had like 3 of it in my life, and I just saw a recipe for one, and I think
3 hours.
there's going to be one in my near future. So if you don't hear from me,
I gotta figure out something to cook tomorrow. I gotta fall something.
It's gonna involve a smoker. That's all we need to know.
but yeah, I'm thinking
I grill
French toast sandwiches might just be a thing around here.
Yeah, it's
If you make that French toast burger, you gotta take pictures of it and send it to Bubba.
there's a trend right now for the French toast hot dogs. Have you seen that? So they do like the big sausage and the dog, and then they dip the shit all in the stuff, and they go right to the griddle, smash it, flip it, smash it, and then they top it with scrambled eggs and some syrup.
Oh,
It's ridiculous looking. It looks ridiculous. I'm like, as soon as I saw it, I was like, I gotta eat that.
man. I'm going to get so fat next week. Jesus Christ, guys. Thank you. I'm going to have to hit the treadmill for like the full 2 hours while I'm watching a movie just to make up for breakfast on Monday.
Oh,
Is it
dear
gonna
God.
be
If
a-
I had a sorry.
Is it gonna be a French toast smash burger?
It might. It just might.
Are you gonna make the way I said?
I could do that.
Yeah, with the bacon and the cheese and the more cheese.
I haven't had bologna in 40 years.
bologna.
Really? You could
Bologna is terrible, man.
Make you a West Virginia steak sandwich. It's a thick cut. Grill
Bologna
it
used
up.
to be good.
Put some gum and cheese on top of it.
Newfie steak was a half-inch thick slice of bologna round on a griddle.
See, yeah, that sounds just like a West Virginia steak sandwich. They call it a West Virginia steak sandwich. I've seen them as thick as my thumb, and then grilled up.
Yeah,
Till it's black, and then cheese. We do a lot
Cheese.
of meat and
We
cheese.
used to do a lot
And
of
an egg.
fried bologna and onions.
I've seen that too. The egg.
that's
That's
breakfast.
fancy. That's El
Right.
Royale.
No, you put the egg on side. That's breakfast, and then for lunch you have it in between bread, and then for dinner you have it with some potatoes, just like the Newfies.
Just like the Newfies. Don't know if that's a put down or what.
Yeah, Newfies always a put
We've got
down.
we've got another one off grid. Oh my God, French toast smash burger. I might have to visit the fridge again tonight.
Do it.
I know that
That's
sounds so
amazing.
good. Oh, what about okay? Instead of burger though, what about like a sausage patty?
Yeah, I was thinking that you can make it truly as a breakfast thing. Because every once in a while,
Every
I'll
once-
get my sausages and I make them huge.
Or
Because I'll
spam?
pan up the whole
Or
thing.
spam?
Spam. Spam might be a little salty for that. Not
It might
classic.
be.
I could see that being the full breakfast: the French toast, the cheese, the bacon, the sausage patty, and then an egg.
Dude, you know, if
And
you did chorizo, that'd be kind of a spicy thing, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm. I don't
And
know
then
that.
Well,
put the
occasionally
other
around
slice
here
on
you
top.
can find.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, you know, there is a low sodium spam out there, so you could go
Yeah.
that route.
I have that. That's what I have at the house. I'm lying to myself saying there's less sodium. I'm on like a 2,500 milligram cap for sodium a day.
Do you know how to make an egg patty? Do you have the
Ring.
ring for that? So when you break it, there's the scrambled egg.
Oh,
and
yeah. I use my little biscuit tins for that. Yeah.
Yeah. You make that. You can put that. You could put that on there. Make that French toast thing a full breakfast sandwich,
Yeah.
and make it like the whole breakfast.
But quite honestly, if you make it poached or over easy, that explosion of yolk is just
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah, I can't get the boy to
I
touch
missed
that.
that.
I love eggs over easy on corned beef hash with toast.
Well, here's what you
You
do.
are showing your age.
Here's what you do.
I
You
know,
get that
right?
little round.
That's what's on the can. Literally, corned beef hash.
It's the same
Egg.
image from the 1950s, bro.
Well, the funny thing is I didn't start eating eggs over easy until I was in like my 40s. My parents
I,
couldn't make them, so I just like I figured, whatever. But then when I got married, Jackie's mom would make chilaquiles, which is like tortilla. Have you ever had that?
I not really.
Okay,
My, I,
it's fried tortillas covered in a red sauce with onions and cheese and tomato diced on top of it, and then topped with an egg over easy.
okay.
I like
Oh,
sunny side up.
Up until 10 years ago, there weren't that many Mexicans in Kentucky. Now there's a ton. Okay. But 10
Yeah.
years ago, the only thing that was considered Mexican food was Taco Bell.
Sending notes to the wife. Nice. But yeah, oh my god. I gotta go, guys. My battery is now at 4%. This was awesome. I think I gained like 2 pounds just listening to all this
talking.
shit I'm going to eat next week. Because Jackie's been having this real weird thing. He's like never hungry now. I think it's a girl. I'm hoping. I hope it's not a boy. But he's like, yeah, I know. Fingers crossed. But he's just
If
like
it
not
is a
wanting to
boy,
eat.
make him watch The Gift, and it won't be
No,
anymore.
I'm joking. I don't even think it's either. It's something else.
Well,
It's
make him watch The
bothering
Gift
him.
anyway, but film it because that would be funny.
So he's like not eating unless it's certain things or whatever. I think he's just trying to lose some weight because of school or something.
He's a rail, man.
I don't know, but yeah, I got to start like breaking out the serious, good stuff. So you guys gave me a lot of ammunition to fatten the boy up. So I will see you guys. Some of you tomorrow. Off grid, get a hold of me later, and we'll work on getting you a character into my game. And I will see.
The last piece of pizza I had from lunch has been sitting here.
I'll see everybody else Monday because Hungar said he's going to do a show.
Ah,
Cool. That means it'll just be like an hour, maybe. Fingers crossed again.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be a little longer, but let's make it special and remind Hungar why he used to do these shows because
I don't know if I'll be home Monday. My wife's off Monday. We might go do something. She was plotting.
nice.
That's pepperoni.
All right, guys, I'm at 3%.
That's pepperoni and jalapeno.
Before I can't say goodbye, love you guys. I will see you guys all later. Have a great rest of your weekend, and I will see you guys real soon.